Yeah.
So what do you think about in terms of what's happened with these teams? Anything interesting you should know?
I mean, I was really excited to see Havik come on through. I managed to cast their game earlier on in the season, their semi-finals game, and we came into it. The caster I was working with, who had seen a lot of them, wasn't really expecting them to win. They obviously had strong players, but we believed the other team was going to be able to do it. Havik came out of the gates absolutely swinging. Their captain was absolutely fantastic, beautiful on the AWP, and the rest of the team really stood up with them, really refragging off the back of each other and showing us why they deserve to be here in the finals now.
Huh. I'm not actually too familiar with the roster of Team Havoc, if I'm being honest, but by the sounds of it, I mean, obviously, if they made it to the final, then
Mm.
yeah. Um, I know that there's a different roster for Kings Unite today. Well, they changed the roster again because I mean, it's a UK team. What do you
They do it
expect?
every a couple of weeks of the UKCS, don't they?
Well, yeah, exactly. It's UK teams, right? If you're not changing your org, if you're not changing your lineup, whatever the fuck, then you're not you're not a UK team. It's for the culture. But no, Freestylers was swapped out for MCAT, and yeah.
And when I was actually, to be fair, when I was doing research into Kings Unite, they don't even have an ESEA team at this point. I mean, they've just got 2 players left in that roster, and they weren't even doing too bad in their season. Realistically, it's just the last 3 games in Open they've lost, so 5-4 there. But it should be just, if anything, a good game. Havoc, they were one of the first teams I saw in this roughly a month or and a half ago now. I guess when lockdown first probably started, when they played Shade ages ago.
Yeah, I know
Uh,
that the well, not the same roster, but some players from Kings Unite played Shade, who are now known as Fenrir, last week, which is what got them into the finals. Is that right?
I believe you could be right. I mean, Shade definitely did play in the finals last week. I'm not sure if they actually had the
Yeah,
change names to
Shade
Fenrir, but
changed to
that's because I'm not a fan.
Fenrir,
Right?
as far as I'm aware, and they lost that 2-0 to, I think it was 16-7 on the second map. I'm not sure what the first score was. And then they play Team Divergent in the lower bracket, I believe, for third place.
yeah.
Yeah, and Team Divergent were the team that went up against Havoc, and I did really genuinely believe that they were going to come out on top. But as we said, Havoc really come forth, and this is a good matchup as well for Havoc because now they're past Divergent, a team who they have generally beaten. They're going up against another team that they're actually the only team to have beaten in formerly Matt Darby,
Oh yeah,
formerly Team Think.
they
Now
broke
this,
their streak, didn't they?
yeah, they did.
That's the one. Yeah, I remember.
And honestly, I am somewhat surprised to see that Team Divergent aren't in this final, given the fact that their team have been really strong in some of their other events they've played in. But realistically, Havoc now defeating them means this could be a really close and really exciting final. Obviously, Shade in the lower bracket final. I don't even know who I'm on about at this point.
I mean,
Kings
so
Unite.
Right. All I
I'm
think.
losing track.
Sorry. All I think is that based on what you're saying, it's going to be an exciting matchup. Should be a close game. Might even see it play out to the third map. I would really like to see that, to be honest. What are the 3 maps actually?
Not quite sure as of yet. I think we're still waiting on some of that
They're
information. The
still
bans
Are
haven't
they
quite
still
happened yet.
doing the Vitas and that?
Yeah,
Right.
they
Right.
are.
From
Yeah,
what
I'd like to see Nuke as a decider map because I didn't get to see I didn't see Nuke last week because that would have been the decider for the semis.
I mean, it seems like Team Havoc are very happy to play some of those more interesting maps. I mean, we saw last week both Train and Overpass picked up by them when they were playing against Team Divergent. It definitely means that we could see some of these more kind of high variance ones that teams have a little bit more in the back pocket. And I think maybe that's what made the difference because last time these two teams played, the scoreline was 16-13, I believe, and 16-3.
I thought it
So
was
16
16.
12 and
No,
16 2, sorry.
I thought it was 16. I was gonna say I thought it was 16 too.
Yeah, and I mean that's a huge variance between the two different games and how those scores have kind of come out. And I'm really interested to see which one we're going to see today. Hopefully, obviously, the 16-12. But if Havik are able to completely demolish them, well, that would make for an interesting series regardless.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah. Either way, I think it's just gonna be an interesting game to tune into.
are we allowed to go through the maps? Because we
Yeah,
do
we can.
have them, and we would be starting on best of three, don't forget. So 2 picks, 1 map left over. King's going to be starting with Mirage, Havik picking up Inferno, and our decider would be Dust 2. So realistically, not necessarily interesting maps, as people might say it. More or less maps you could pug out, or
Yeah,
even
I'm
just
not really,
possibly
I'm not really
pick
feeling
up
too
easily.
much interesting about the map choices there, but I mean, I guess it depends on how the maps are played, though, because any map can be interesting if a team makes it interesting, right?
Yeah, precisely. And for me, like the maps, because they're so common and they're so basic, not just in the UK scene, but within lots of European CS at the moment, lots of teams, they will probably be quite comfortable with going into either of these 2 maps. They're maps which anyone could easily just pick up. You'll know the basic smokes and executes out for. So realistically, a lot of this is also going to be about the Angels, who comes off better in the arguments, in the one-on-one battles, realistically going forward. And like you said earlier, Makula, like all 3 maps, they are on the table, Rook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see as well, because we were talking about those Angels. I really want to see if Havik are actually able to really make use of that, because that was something they were particularly good on, especially on Overpass. Is that aim was fantastic. They're really hitting those opening shots as well and setting up the pace for the rest of the round off of those initial kind of fights. So yeah, that would be really fun to
Yeah.
see if they can kind of continue with that and show us some really fantastic frags.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we
Right.
have, oh sorry.
No, go on.
I mean, because we now know what the first map is, we are going to push over to that first map info. And I mean, Mirage, a map that we all kind of know. We were talking earlier about how puggy it can get. What kind of areas are we really looking for them to teams to focus on, Louis?
For me, one of the key things of Mirage is really going to be the mid control, whether you're CT or
I was
C side.
thinking the exact same thing.
Because for me, that's going to be so vital to where you're going to be pushing forward, not only in terms of just your CT executes, but on the T side, if you get that control, you get so much more opportunities to maybe push out the choke points, connector, window if you boost in there, even up towards short. And without mid, for me on the offense, you're going to have a really tough time really trying to cleanly get onto either the A or B sides.
I mean, the B site is obviously something which you see a lot of teams kind of running over to what I'm running over to, getting a lot of rushes out there. If you can set up well for that, obviously a very easy site to execute on. And I do think a lot of teams, especially at this kind of level, underestimate how relevant mid is. I've seen teams win entire maps off of effectively controlling mid, and then from there kind of running the other team around basically as they try and rotate to the site that they're trying to hit.
Is the game live or
It's not live for me at least.
not? Okay.
I was wondering, is the game live yet? Or no, right?
No,
Should
obviously
hopefully be getting that up for you soon. As yeah, I mean this is definitely interesting. Apparently we got to restart. Yeah, hopefully we should be able to get that up for you as soon as we possibly can. But I mean these two teams should be an interesting start, as it does look like we have the game, at least to some degree here. Yeah, no, we're just waiting to get on in. It's already 2 rounds to Kings Unite.
That's what I was thinking. I joined the RTMP set, and it's just like, are we meant to be ahead? Are we sort of losing track? But the game, yep, live. As we said, Kings Unite, their map pick currently 2-0 up. And it's going to be, for now, Mafsine. Just in mid with this A-Came. Havik. Not much investment and eco for them, aside from the Mac 10 and Deagles they've got to work with.
Yeah, and Mathsy is in a little bit of an awkward spot as he does get deeked on out by Smite here. That's a good early pick, but MCAT peeks on through, finds one, looks, does get the second onto Owie, and now has complete control of this area as he moves over to Zimzy, but does get taken down. Team Havik down to 2 players as Zimzy will get finished off as Rez just pops on off and finishes that round off. As Kings Unite start off 3-0 here.
A nice opening start, and Havik, for me, they're going to have to look towards picking some round up early. Not only just that, but economic damage as well, because on the offense, if you're Kings Unite, you're going to be looking just to build up this momentum, this confidence early on in this grand final. Don't forget, full AK buyout cemented with a M4 and alt buyout on the offense. Mafsy again. That could be a bit of a big rush.
They're going to push onto him. They are... Yeah, as you said, the B rush comes on in, but it does not matter. As Zimzy finds it, 3K looking for that little bit more, makes it 4, looking for the ace hit, doesn't quite get it as Dante will stop them, but has done more than enough to shut down this push. As Dante goes down to 15, and Kings Unite finally managed to be stopped there.
Dante just really looking to see what lasting damage he can have on an effect of this. And like I said, Havik really had to find something quite quickly to really give themselves early confidence, cut the momentum. Dante does still have a bomb, so a plant on A, which shouldn't really be possible, is open here. Havik, they've completely misread the scenario, and they've all stacked up at least towards B. Are they aware that the bomb's been dropped?
I don't think they are. I think this is really good as well for Dante, because obviously he's not going to really be able to win this round. 1v4, 4v1 retakes are pretty easy, but should be able to pick up some money. Gets that plant, maybe even gets a frag off of this, and is really able to bolster their team going to the next round. They might, I don't think they'll quite be able to buy. Actually, I think they will off of this. So they might lack a little bit in terms of utility going to the next round, but we will still see Team Havik versus Kings Unite, both with rifles.
4 kills, Dante. It's not impossible, but 15 health and a little bit of armor. If he gets these isolated one-on-one angels, he might have had a chance, but Smite says no to that one. Closes out any possibility of a amazing clutch. Havik, they do cement that first one. 4 kept alive. And Zimzy, a good 4K as well to help cement the round.
Yeah, kind of absolutely the kind of pivotal point here, as you can see on the replay, just sprays on down, takes it down 3 in that next initial exchange, manages to finish off the last changes to that pistol, and manages to not quite get it, but we do eventually see this round closed on out. And Team Havik able to put a stop to Kings Unite early on here, as we do see some very aggressive AWPing, and this is the AWPing, this is the aim that I was talking about as Flicky, just absolutely popping off, opening up this round for their team.
Oh, the AK just waits to get something more. A Molotov towards under. And again, that mid control, as I said, is going to be vital to work with for now. Smite, he might have missed the timing, but Rez, in fact, falls. Oh, we'll take him out. Kings Unite, they've not found any kills back yet. 3 players lost, and MCAP might have an opportunity here towards A. He's found Mellard. A bomb plant. That would be the least that Kings Unite expect for out of this point, but more or less, been given an A side. Havik, they're looking likely to just play retake, and this AWP could certainly do damage.
MCAT looking to peek around a little bit, trying to find their way onto the site. Flicky does go down, as Massey is going to be able to back them on up. Smite is looking for an opportunity to peek on out here, as the bomb does get planted. It's a 3 versus 2 retake. This is definitely possible for Team Havik, but it could be hard with the positions that Kings Unite have taken. They do have a molly, and they're going to put it back there towards Massey and kind of force him out a little bit as he takes a smidgen of damage. Team Havik still looking to push on forward. They have a bit of time to work with, but with these shots that we've been seeing Kings Unite make, they have to be careful, especially when MCAT doesn't quite manage to find it.
No.
Massey trying to get that spray, finds one, but Team Havik are able to pick up their second round. And I mean, Kings Unite have really been good at slinging around and getting those bomb plants.
That's been the advantage, but only really the advantage they've been finding in these gun rounds so far. An AWP and an AK gets retained, and for Havik, they're now trying to fight this one back ever so early. And despite Kings Unite really getting that bomb down, the money isn't going to be amazing. Tech9s, a load of smokes and flashes invested right at the latter stages there. A default top mid smoke, as you'd expect. And mid control, but there is an AWP here looking for something flicky. Actually choosing not to reaggress. Plays the safe game. He's respecting his opponents early on.
Yeah, and he very much lives up to his name, looking for all the flicks that he possibly can. And I like the fact that he's respecting his Kings Unite do have some power behind them, and if you disrespect them, they can get a couple of frags, pick up some rifles off your bodies, and then really start to push this kind of threat home.
Well, the tech line looks for something. For now, MCAT just holds Flicky. The Sorp really want to do something, and there is possibly an opportunity to boost up, but I was playing anti-flash, waiting to see what Kings Unite offer them.
Kings Unite running through that timer a little bit, so they have to be a little bit careful, but still trying to peek for something. Maybe get a frag and then run from there. Finchy is in the back area, looking to catch off Flicky, but doesn't quite find the shot. Flicky will turn around. How he will take damage as the rest of Kings Unite are using this opportunity to execute. Zimzy holds strong and still finds 2 frags, holding their position. Kings Unite looking for those picks, but unable to find them. Team Havik, yet again, looking to hold strong on this B site as Kings Unite still looking for a way on in and trying to pick up this bomb and take it to the other side.
I honestly feel it's going to be an arse for them to even get a bomb plant. MCAT's position could be key. His teammate takes damage, but finds a kill anyway. And this is AK, it is going to now turn up towards bench, and AWP stands Flicky. The man looking for something else actually gets dinked down to 9 HP. He's dead. This was an eco which Kings Unite started off with, and both on low HP, 10 health. Well odd. It feels like it should be an easy maneuver. No utility, a kit, and a flash. That's left to support him, and it's a great crossfire, and oh no, well odd. He'll actually win it. So good for Kings Unite to at least get that bomb down, but it was so unlucky. Well odd. At least completes a comeback.
And that could have really been something that set Kings Unite very far ahead of Team Havik. Would have done a lot of economic damage, killing obviously all 5 members, getting that bomb plant. But that last member, Wellard, able to hold the line for the team. And Team Havik, I mean, it's really unfortunate to see them drop so many players, as they still do kind of have the lingering effects of that, because Zimzy only has that smoke.
Well, Flicky again, up on short. And AK is going to peek, but doesn't actually get the shot converted to his name. In fact, falls away, plays a safe game once again. Havik. Again, they were looking for that early one, but just failed to really find it. Unite then work off of the mid control, and MCAT's has done so well to really work out towards A, and with that, they just used to back away. Chaos for Unite, they really want at least an opening kill to their name. For now holding. O falls away. And Smite gets an opening.
It's a good frag, and Havik have been able to find a lot of these initial exchanges. Smite finds one. Flicky, even while not able to see him, takes down Rez. Will fall, however, and Team Havik are down a player, but they've made many in exchange that they're happy to take. Smite falling does open up an opportunity for Kings Unite, as MCAT is able to push out here and take down Zimzy as he tries to make the rotate, keeping things 2 versus 2. After that initial exchange, Kings Unite must feel pretty darn good about the position right now.
Well, this all could certainly prove something. A tag, in fact, onto the player bomb planting. MCAT for now forced to play safe, and O's got just the angle to ensure that bomb gets dropped. And the AK had to push. MCAT does little. Havik hold on to the A site. No bomb plant either. But for the money and the economy, Kings Unite kind of dented. Let's Havik push on to 4 and could find 5, but last time Unite were in this scenario, they did well to at least get a bomb plant.
The bomb plant, they got 4 kills in that round, so definitely the Rico something to be scared of. They have been able to make quite the dent in Havik regardless of the round outcome. A lot of utility invested early on will put a stop to Kings Unite's push early on here. They're still going to look for an opportunity. There's a player watching all towards heaven as Dante is able to sneak up towards Tetris here. For an opportunity to peek on round. There's no one in the position he's looking for. Willard able to smoke it off as Smite holds the position. Willard peeks on out, takes down 1, but MCAT will be able to find the frag as they drop onto site, as these pistols are doing great work. Smite does a lot of damage to his own teammate. Doesn't quite find the shot onto the planting play there. Massey tries to peek on out as Cat goes down. Flicky trying to finish things off, but it is going to be Smite and Team Havik stopping that eco a lot better this time around.
a little cleaner, but Unite obviously still got the bomb down from it. Some more money in the bank means they certainly can get a nice healthy buyout going into round number 9. And Havik, they have kind of had little issues since they've had the money and the guns go their way. Kings Unite, at least now back on the AKs, a full buyout. Flicky will keep the AWP for Havik.
I mean, something that we kind of noticed in the last time I saw Team Havik play, if Flicky has an AWP, you're probably not winning the round. He is absolutely fantastic on it. And keep an eye on this player. As you see how aggressive Team Havik are playing. They are all the way pushed up mid with a smoke. Zimzy is waiting right there. And they're investing utility to try and counteract the push that they're expecting Kings Unite to make. Here we see Zimzy. He's going to be able to get this frag, most likely onto Rez as soon as he pushes on out. Sees Flinchy as well and will take down both. That is so darn free for them. As always the one who gets the kill credit, but they know exactly where these players are going. They need to rotate back onto site. Nice shot there from Smite to take him out from window, but MCAT reaches onto site. Flicky doing his darn job, takes it down as they try to jump on in. Dante is the only remaining player, and they are under so much pressure right now. Flicky unable to hit these last shots, but that Tech 9 is able to do the job.
That Tech 9 spam was so clean and beautiful. So unfortunate that Flicky, like you said, living up to his name with the AWP, certainly on top, certainly in control. Kings Unite again denied something else as Havik. Clock up to 6. In control.
Absolutely in control. As soon as they've had the money for guns, they have been so in control of this. There's the shot from Flicky, takes down one early. Even with the rifles, it does not seem to matter as he picks up a second. Smite is pushed away from their position, but Kings Unite can't get mid-control here. It's been so difficult. Wellard holding an off angles even to take down able to take down MCAT, and Team Havik are just choking Kings Unite out of control of the map.
Yeah, Unite really struggling for at least the map control. Rez finally delivers something back. For Kings Unite, there's still a 2-player disadvantage scenario for them. Smite, even affected by the flashes, but he certainly had the sound cues. Dante will work his way in towards window and Sniper's Nest. The timing, that could have got hairy. Still is awkward. Both players for now just keep their life. Dante, I don't know how he is still alive, to be fair. It feels like he should be dead. Owie for now, just waiting. And Kings Unite, they're waiting to maybe get some more angels in their favour.
Darby. Sorry, Dante looking to kind of push on out here as the smoke comes on in and he pushes right on through it. Smite is holding the angle and most likely will catch him as he comes on through, but does not find it as he just wide swings and takes him down with a swift headshot. Dante, however, will fall to Wellard. Wellard gets sprayed through the box there as Rez goes down to 17, but is going to be able to get that bomb plant, securing all-important money for their team.
That's all he had to do, really. They were left in an awkward scenario. Kings Unite at least build up some more money, but the economy not going to be in a safe state. Oh, he's looking for, I believe, an AWP.
He'll be going for that one. I mean, this is the thing, right? Team Havik, I mean, they're so calm right now. It's pretty chill for them. They've been taking control of this, and Kings United have just really struggled to make that impact. They've been getting a lot of money, a lot of cash injections. I mean, they're at maximum losers, but a loss bonus right now. So they're in a great position in economically for how many rounds they've lost, but they've not been able to really convert that into a win since Team Havik were able to buy.
Now, a reminder, this is, of course, Kings Unite's map pick as well, and failing to really deliver hope so far on the offense. For now, Wellard and Smite, the 2 players looking to hold off what's going to be this fast A play. Already towards the stairs, they've got the control. It's awkward. Rez, well, he gets 2 back. A chance was there for Kings Unite, but the AWP is still alive. Flicky now looks for more as he gets mollied and flashed out of his angle. Smoke and cover. Oh, he gets 1 back.
Dante holds the angle, takes down Owie as he tries to push on through, but Zimzy from CT here doesn't deny the bomb plant, but does take down the planter. Dante is the only remaining player as Flicky is looking to push through this. Dante goes down, and Team Havik, yet again, on this retake, absolutely fantastic. And this is something I saw from them last time they played. Their retakes really on point because they're able to consistently hit the shots. They're able to coordinate effectively with their team. They're not pushing out all too aggressively. We saw that Flicky was sitting in smoke. He knew he didn't have to push. He didn't have to make the big play. He was all down to Zimzy to get that flank, get that frag, and set their team up for the win.
And honestly, for Kings Unite, they just haven't looked the part so far in this grand final. It's felt so one-sided. And like I said, it's Mirage. It's a map which I'm sure Havik would certainly have been prepared for anyway.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
now Finchy.
Really not living up to the names, neither Kings nor Unite. They've been struggling to find the wins, and they haven't been working together as a team, other than, falling to a multiple frag fest from Zimzy, especially here on this B site where Zimzy's holding the exact same position.
You could almost say Havik are the Kings of Mirage for now, as they now try and hold off this little push towards B. Owie and Flicky, for now, easy enough, and even that repeat is nice and clean. He takes damage, but Dante can't get the kill back, and the Yorp's gonna peek so easily. Flicky, easy enough.
You can tell when an AWP player is really feeling themselves, and Flicky is the pinnacle of that right now, as he finds that another frag, moving themselves up to 3. What a stellar performance so far from Team Havik.
Yeah, Havik are just so... You can't really say anything different than dominating, completely controlling the play of this match so far. Unite's money, well, even they're struggling to make a confident and comfortable call as a few players brought out late. Flicky, in fact, doesn't want to play at mid for now. An earlier bonus for now towards Kings Unite. Rez just keeps watching things, but the Yorp's going to repeat. Flicky, for now, doesn't find anything back.
He's going to rotate over towards that A side to try and bolster it, but a couple of players here from Kings Unite up in this position in apartments, maybe looking to go forward, catch him off guard who's looking for information. That would be the kind of ideal situation for them. But right now, Team Havik not overextending, in fact, too much. Smite looking a little bit in mid here, but not exposing themselves. Finally, we see the opportunity as they take it down the player, kind of holding towards mid. They're able to use this to get aggressive. Flinchy tries to find something. Unfortunately, doesn't manage to find it. Zimzy still boosted up here. I don't know if they're going to be able to notice him. They do spot him out as Rez will find that frag. And Kings Unite in such a good position right now. They have a 2-player advantage, and they're continuing to try and find these frags. Flicky with the AWP playing aggressive here. Smite looking for an opportunity to move on in 2. If he doesn't check his corner, he will easily go down. Smite does exactly that, and we see Mazzy able to pick up the M4, take down Flicky, and Kings Unite finally put their first buy round on the board.
Finally, it took him so long, and for Havik, it's a mere consolation, really, and an issue. Kings Unite, they've not really shown us too much for now. Mafty, a great angle to at least convert the shots. Even the AWP was allowed nothing in it.
But this isn't the end of the world, honestly, for Team Havik. They can easily buy up. They're back right into the exact same thing. No lack of utility here. And Kings Unite, they're going to have to do it again.
Oh, Flicky in mid. He's been allowed the map control. Kings Unite, for now, they're not even looking to really aggress or push it. Rez converts it. Kings Unite, again, allowed an early advantage, but what more would I get? They'll look towards mid. Lake Havik regain the control. No, he will convert that one. And Rez got the initial kill. Won't find more than that. Play now towards A. And out. And looking for chaos. Wellard now just has to play safe.
Yeah, Smite is also being pressured here in Connector as MCAT takes down Owie. He's sitting out on Cat, but Smite is able to find it. Massey will see that that's happened and try and move into a more safe position, playing very aggressively up towards CT here. Wellard spots the shots and will be able to get them from behind. Nice play there. But the rest of Kings Unite, they are on the B site. In fact, they're going to be looking for that plan. As soon as this happens, Team Havik will start hauling ass. But it's a 3v2, and already in position is Finchy.
They've already heard the sound cues as well. Rezzed, an easy, crisp shot comes out his way, but Zimzy responds. A 1-on-2 now. And for Havik, certainly a good chance in this retake, but did they spot the AWP cross to the right? He's hiding. He's looking for a quad kill. And they've not spotted him out. The time in, that's a no-scope. In fact, Rez converts the first one, or a quick scope, I should say. P250 and looking for a quad kill. He'll win it. Kings Unite find 5. Finally, they're stepping up with something. And it was Rez, the man, to really lead him to it.
I mean, yeah, these AWP has been really decisive in these rounds. And Rez showing us here just how effective he is. That no-scope into a beautiful P250 kill through the smoke. setting Kings Unite to really break the momentum of Team Havik. This is the last round of the half, and getting aggressive are we now, Team Havik, as they rush towards the position with an MP9. The FAMAS doesn't stand a chance against that AK, as MCAT will find 2-hole frag. They lose a player in heaven, but they're not even pushing onto this A site. This is beautiful misdirection from Kings Unite.
Yeah, Kings Unite, they've now been a bit more dynamic about this approach, and Zimzy might lose the timing. He'll peek and look, but an AK just about does its job. OE, a vital trade kill, and it's trade kills all around. In fact, Kings Unite now keep the advantage, but the AK, Flicky, he certainly has a chance and still has a say in this. Bomb is certainly going to rush in, but Dante's already holding, and the Yorp just cleans it up beautifully. Better, nicer. Kings Unite work up to 6.
I mean, it was looking real dire for Kings Unite coming into this kind of half after getting those 3 rounds first. Things were looking good. Then Team Havik just did not let go after they found their first round. Able to put a stop to them, but still a 3-round deficit going into side switch.
Let's see then what Havik can provide on the defensive end. No special pistol strategy. 2-1-2 split. Mavsy. Now looking for kill number 6. As the smokes go out towards A. An early chance to just see what Havik can do on the offense. And they've not cleared Mafby. Wellard, in fact, wins that one, pushing. He wanted more kills. Finchy and Smite just trade out. The site is theirs, and chaos on piss around Rook.
Yeah, getting super aggressive with those Glocks, not willing to let the advantage of the USP bog them down. Rez will push on out, but Flicky is able to make short work of him. And now it's only Dante. And I mean, we've seen Dante clutch it out before, but a 1 versus 3 retake. At least he has control of the bomb current.
He has a kill also. A smoke is there, and just looking for the shots. Flicky will find that one through the smoke. Havik expectedly pick up pistol. Now up to 10. And Kings Unite really, if they won that, they'd have certainly had a much easier start to the second half, but it's going to be an uphill struggle. An investment is minimum for Eco. As Havik pick up an AK and a Galil. That tends also, and again, the mid control to focus on. At least 3 players in window to go up against as well.
Certainly will. Flicky looking to peek on out. Doesn't find anything, as there's no one really contesting mid control. There will be one player as they turn around the corners. MCAT is holding position, trying to get something here. Rez and Finchy both fall early on here. Team Havik's aggression paying dividends right now. Dante tries to push on through, but the Mac 10 of Zimzy easily destroys him. It's Mafsy and MCAT are the last remaining players here, and they are nowhere near in position to try and control this as MCAT goes down. And I mean, I would say in Mafsy, maybe you want to try and save this, but you don't have anything to save.
I've only just now realised how good Flicky has been. He's got roughly 22 kills, only 9 deaths, at least going into the second half, and certainly has made a vital impact. Mafsy, more or less the opposite without trying to sound too harsh. USP and just looking for an exit kill at this point. Mac 10 spots him, and Havik complete a flawless second round by him. The AK kept. Up to 23 kills is Flicky, and Kings Unite again, just Ecom. At least that was the intention before everyone now brought out the M4s.
I mean, this is because they're trying to look for the pace and get a couple more buy rounds out. If they go for a force here and get something, then it kind of leads into a little bit more later on. MCAT trying to find a space through the smoke there to get themselves started off well, but unable to find those shots. And Finchy, finds the frag onto Smite there. Got a little bit confused as Finchy will peek out back towards A. As the rest of Team Havik are looking for kind of control towards this B site. Rest is in position as the smoke has allowed Zimzy to kind of sneak around him. But whether that drop is going to be gotten or not will be a different matter. Zimzy still looking for that timing as he peeks on out. Rez will be able to get the spray down, and Kings Unite up 2 players right now, as well as having control of the sites. Molly forces Dante out, but it doesn't matter. Dante holds his ground, and with the backup from Rez, is able to defeat Team Havik as they try and jump into the site. Flicky's the last remaining player, and sure, he's no mean feat with this AK, but these pistols are able to finish him off.
Kings Unite, they turn up at the right time, and they pull off what felt like quite a clean one as well. Just no kills coming back. Havik really struggled to respond and trade out. Rez individually found 3 kills there. And as the next gun round comes out, Havik do still have a lead, but they want to play it fast towards A. In fact, Finchy for now, an M4. And he almost had a crossfire, in fact, just so many trade kills and so chaotic. The scout looks for something towards CT. Mafsy isn't in the best position with that weapon. And as Zoe and Flicky just send utility in his way, it's Havik looking for this bomb plant, but they're still down a player.
They are. They've got good position, but Kings Unite ready and waiting to try and pounce as soon as a mistake is made. And there it is, that very first mistake. Flicky falls as he is caught out in the open. And now, Ali, what do you really do here? It's going to be hard. Just gets forced out into the open by a nade, and Rez will finish him one off. Kings Unite with some strong rounds so far on this CT side.
They've certainly turned up a lot more strong, and this is probably why they wanted to look towards Mirage. Their first half, it was slow, it was lacking really in all departments, but now they are starting to warm up, starting to get their shots converted and all the kills found. Again, Havik on the offense want to look towards A, Palace and pit control. That's what they've got. The early Molotov Mafsy. Quiet one. And now has to defend against this push.
And this has been the mistakes of Team Havik. They've been rushing way too hard. Sure, they get a frag here, but it's not worth it. They keep on getting caught out. Kings Unite are constantly in position, and you can see this. This spray down, he was waiting for it. He heard it, was readying the flash. He didn't need the flash. He just got the major 3K spray down, set themselves up for the rest of this round.
I'm almost amazed that obviously Havik in that scenario, they would have just been looking for that bomb plant out of the Palace, but they didn't really even look to consider clearing the angle, so a little unfortunate, but their own mistake. For now, the CT mid smokers as Zimzy has to play the safe if they want to regress and look towards mid. Gets it cleanly. On flash and practically back on it.
Bit of mid control here for Team Havik as they are looking to try and use that to leverage the assault of the other site. Finchy up close and personal right now, but decides to back off a little bit. Doesn't want to get caught out by the Team Havik side, who do all have AK. Zimzy tries to open on up, but they're not going to check their corners. They do manage to do it in time, and Finchy will go down. The same can be said for Mathsy, and this is a big opportunity. MCAT, with that AWP, will try and find a second one with that jump, but doesn't quite manage to do it. Smite contesting this player over here on Catwalk, but doesn't get it. Goes down to 5 HP, as multiple members of Team Havik are so darn low right now. They're going to look to try and get this plant, but on site with MCAT already here, it's going to be hard. Flicky already in position, looking to get this flank as well. Is baiting out something, baiting out some kind of move. There it is. He will go down in response. That is a good team play there by Team Havik, and it will net them, most likely, this plant on site.
They knew where Dante was as well, at least. They knew of his last position towards short. He's now hiding in jungle. And it's taken Havik such a long time just to get that bomb plant. So more the chance for Dante to really turn up and try for this retake. And AWP in Palace and AK in Connector. It feels like it shouldn't be winnable. It feels like it could be easy for the T side. Smite cleans it up. Picks up 2 in that round. Another important round. Havik finally fight back. And look at Kings Unite's money. It's not entirely there. Mafsy and MCAT, they have to be dropped. Can't afford it. They can get an AWP out.
Yeah, a bit of a ramshackle buy there in the way they were kind of purchasing it. I mean, Rez and Finchy had a load of money, but MCAT and Mafsy really lacking here. And that shows kind of what's been going on here. Is Kings Unite really playing around those core members. Strong round for Team Havik to pick up as they have kind of put a halt to the momentum of Kings Unite. This is big as Flicky finds that opening shot onto Dante as his leg was peeking out a little bit too much. They know exactly where to find one of these players and finish off Rez. That was close to being a team shot, but Flicky, he does not care. Finds 3, looks for that little bit more as we do see frags back and forth as Aoi falls. But Team Havik with site control and, I mean, complete domination of this round over Kings Unite.
Kings Unite weren't entirely prepared for this, and Mafsy, he might as well just fall back, run away.
Saving is definitely the decision here.
And the AWP, is it going to stop him? No! Flicky looking for 30 kills even before round 24. He's had a great individual effort so far. Kings Unite's money now isn't there. We said they had to fully commit to that round, and now after this, Havik, a massive chance to really strengthen their lead, look towards 14 on Kings Unite's map pick, and cause more pressure onto the CTs. Just some pistols. Just a deagle in mid. No group up. Nothing special.
Just playing for picks right now as Kings Unite kind of wandering around looking for something to shoot. Hopefully, Team Havik will give them something as soon as we possibly can. But right now, playing kind of passive. And I like this because they're expecting Kings Unite to play aggressive and try and find something early on. Trying to punish them for it so that they don't lose the players. And instead, Kings Unite getting a little bit overzealous. Just gift them something, basically. I really like the smoke. Nice setup now as Team Havik are looking to execute onto this A site. 3 players from Kings Unite, I would like to point out, on B right now. And 1 even looking to rotate towards B. There's only 1 member. Number 6, Mathsy, on this site. Finally, we see a little bit more utility invested. And in heaven, Mathsy is that last remaining player. Finchy moves in through the smoke. He's waiting a little bit of time. Smite is not going to see him. Finchy is able to find 1, doesn't get the second, but the opening frags for Kings Unite certainly are there. Zimzy will be able to finish off MCAT towards CT here. It's 3 versus 3 as these pistols seem to be absolutely fantastic right now for Kings Unite as they take down yet another. Team Havik unable to hold up to them right now. Dante tries to use an AK. That's not how this goes as Team Havik are going to be able to try and go for this bomb plot. They don't have a lot of time. There's not much left. The HE might be able to do it. He goes so low. He's able to get the bomb plant. So little time left and not much health left on Massey as the pistol finishes it off. Team Havik win out that round.
That was so messy. I mean, Zimzy ran out of bullets on the AK. He was hoping the nade would do it all himself, but Kings Unite, they came so close, and they'll be kicking themselves that they couldn't clutch it out against Zimzy specifically. A massive individual effort, 14. But against Anikome, Havik, no, it shouldn't have been that close. It was too scary for them, and now they're going to go for quite a basic call. Smokes on A, and utility awesome. And considering Kings Unite stacked the B site last round, it was so awkward. And then Palace, in fact, Massey comes off better.
He does some good frags, though, from Smite, as we do manage to take down Finchy. MCAT still on site, takes down Wellard as they didn't check his position. Flicky are not able to find the shot. MCAT will finally fall, but it's going to be difficult. They have the bomb planted, and they managed to even things up. It is 2 versus 2. Orp in the hands of Rez, but that's not so great for trying to execute onto these sites, as Smite has moved over to that to try and hold more defensively.
No kits in the retake. Rez doesn't even have armor, and Smite just trying to juggle peek it. It's a 1-on-1 now, 20 HP against 30 HP, and an AK switch up, and this should be something for Smite, but it's not, and Rez, he's got the... Well, he had a kit, in fact. Did he not realise?
I don't think he had enough time. I think he was out of time. Honestly, Kings Unite getting so darn close. They can taste it, but not able to find it as Team Havik are now moved on to match.
Another crazy round, but like I said, it was Mirage. It was going to be about the Angels. And you've seen in so many of these close rounds, the Angels have been so vital. And that's where I don't even feel Kings Unite have been coming short in that respect. It's just been some unfortunate calls, some stacks, which haven't gone their way. And talking about a stack, they've got a lot of focus and presence, mainly on A and mid. 2 in connector. Havik. Now they can't push of that Molotov in the way. And you look at the Kings Unite buy, it's far from ideal. It's certainly one Dante on his side could try and make work out.
Well, looking to push it first, but is taken off the board by Rez here. Rez looking to find another, does manage to get it. These orbs are so impactful as Flicky is able to do the exact same thing. It's scoped weapons only right now as the scout also finds a frag. but with Flicky on that high ground and good control for Team Havik right now, it is so darn strong. Flicky looking to swap with a pistol to find a couple more as it is 2 versus 2. They're playing around these angles, but Flicky takes down MCAT, and finally Smite will be able to finish on off 16-9, but it doesn't tell the whole story here. Kings Unite took Team Havik so darn close in so many rounds.
Yeah, and it has to really come back to that first half where Kings Unite, they struggled to pick up rounds on that T side on the offense. That CTN from Havik, since they started to get the money and started to get the money built up in the rounds, they looked better. And for me, the money was not just the money, but the momentum, I think, was a key factor. And Kings Unite got so unlucky. But for them, that's our map pick gone. We now look towards the second map of Inferno.
And this worries me for Kings Ignite, because the last time they played Team Havik, map 1, 16-12, kind of close. Might have been an exciting match, didn't get to watch it myself. But the second match, which, I mean, presumably was Team Havik's map, they got 16-2. And if we're going to see that happen again, Kings Unite are really going to have to step up, otherwise they are going to get steamrolled right now.
Yeah, for me, while they started to warm up near the end, it felt too late, but they are now warmed up, Kings Unite. I feel like they've got certainly a chance to take us to map 3, but Havik, they're on their home turf. For them, it's going to be really tough to now try and find something back. Inferno's going to come up shortly.
Indeed it will. Thank you very much for watching. We're going to go to a short 5-minute break before we do come back for that second map, Inferno.
Point of view. It's here, it's now what we wanna do. Don't have all the answers, but we don't care. I thought the answer was in front of me, but it was just a dream, and all the failing made me see. I thought I had to choose another way. You can't predict your fate. It's just how it's meant to be. This is where our worlds collide. This is where we come alive. This is where we realize. This is where we realize. It's all that matters now. It's all that matters now. It's all that matters now. Show me a different way. I'm not afraid to let my guard down. I was walking in the dark until you came and turned a light on. And I don't wanna take the rain without the clear skies. And I don't wanna take the pain without the love. I know you had to break a heart to start the healing. I know I'll never give you up again.
right. So welcome back. That first game went. What do you think about it? 16-9 to I keep forgetting the fucking name. Team Havoc. Yeah, sorry. 69 Team Havoc. Did you see anything really special from Team Havoc, or were they just winning more?
I mean, yeah, they had some fantastic helping coming out from Flicky in particular. The rest of the team was really stepping up in terms of frags, and I mean, 16-9 didn't really do that much justice, did it, Louis?
No, for me, Kings Unite, they kept it so close. I mean, you were saying how the AWPers were making such a good impact. Flicky and Rezd AWPing for Kings Unite. They turned up at quite important rounds, and there was certainly a couple of rounds where Kings Unite really could have found the better in Havok in, but it was Havok who were almost better to some of these Angels and to some of these engagements. And for me, if Kings Unite maybe had a bit more time to warm up, it would have been a closer game. It maybe could have been them finding that early victory, but we're going to switch over to Inferno now. Havok, it's their map pick, and for them, they've got a very good shot of maybe going and winning this 2-0.
All right. S-
We are having some technical issues, so we could be just a second, but we are trying to get you into game as soon as we possibly can. And I mean, yeah, I'm really excited to see how this new map pick is going to go. Now moving over to Havok's kind of choice, whether we'll have a repeat of that kind of 16-2 scoreline that we saw when these teams clashed last, because we've seen Havok really show up.
I will say that I'm hoping that iMessy on the side of Kings Unite is able to do a bit more for himself this game. It looks like he was really struggling the last match in some of the rounds.
Yeah, we saw a couple of players struggling to really finish off those frags. We saw a lot of players, specifically on Havok, going down to like 5, 12, 10 HP, but not actually dying. And I think that was a big kind of difference maker in whether Havok were winning around or whether we actually saw Kings Unite winning around, which they got so close to doing in a lot of these, especially those last two where, I mean, they got the frags, they just didn't get the defuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one round towards the end where Rez didn't have enough time to defuse. Was it Rez?
I think it was
Yeah,
right, yes.
yeah, it was Rezd. I believe it was. And for me now, Kings Unite, they've got to be looking a bit more towards some of these early and entry kills. And believe it or not, the trade kills was such a key thing in that game because it felt like so many of the rounds were so equal, as we keep saying on Mirage. And for me, Kings Unite, if they can get a bit more of a foothold and an early stable bit of control going into Inferno, then that's something they've got to work towards. For me, Havok, they're probably the favourites going into this. They beat Divergent, a much better team.
It is, yeah. It is
in this
also
round.
their pick, if I am understanding right. This is Team Havok's map pick, Inferno.
Yes. And
So,
from
and it was King's map pick for Mirage. So if we're going off of map picks alone, it would predict that it would be a landslide victory for Havok. But I think that Kings Unite might still have what it takes to maybe push it to the third map.
Yeah, I mean, UKCS is UKCS is UKCS,
Well,
where sometimes
yeah,
teams
you
just
could
lose
be
on
more
their own
right
map
about
pick. So it's definitely still all to play for.
Case in point, Kings Unite.
Mhm.
Map pick, 69.
Exactly.
Well, 9-16. Proven the point.
Absolutely. So definitely don't go anywhere. This match coming up should be a pretty spectacular one. If the last match that we saw was anything to talk by, fantastic frags across the board, even though it was a 69 scoreline, we saw a lot of high-paced action.
And as Flicky was on a mad one most of the rounds.
yeah, we were saying
Definitely.
how Flicky was so influential. I think he ended the game with about 32 kills after that. So individually, he was stepping up. He was really trying to ensure they could get that finish line victory. And we look towards Inferno. Like for me, looking at the ESEA stats, Kings Unite have played it only once. They got a win on it. So this team, they've got a chance of at least turning up and pulling off a victory. But for me, they've got to keep up to the levels that they're going to be facing up against. For me, Havok looked so strong in so many departments, even in some of those close retake rounds. and where it's going to be like the post plants and the retakes, where you've got to be perfect if you're Kings Unite now.
Certainly do. I mean, I'm very excited to see how Kings Unite are really going to manage to get this going. Fortunately, as I said before, we are having some technical difficulties. Game is currently going, but are trying to get it to you as soon as we possibly can. Definitely very excited to see how Kings Unite will be able to do that. But unfortunately, we are going to have to go to a break. We'll be right back with you as soon as we can bring you the action. Hello everyone and welcome back. In spite of all these technical difficulties, we are still on here. Havik took 8 rounds in a row to start off this match, and Kings Unite able to pull a little bit back and bring themselves to 4 right now as we are getting into round 14 here. Bomb is going down, but some good shots from Kings Unite are trying to dissuade them from doing that. It's a 3 versus 4 retake here on Inferno.
Yeah, Mafsi for now just keeps watch of this angle with the AWP towards Coffin's Inferno. As a reminder, Havik's map pick, 1 map ahead in this grand finals. And Mafsi, you know what? He converts that one, but he's been the only player to find a kill back so far for Kings Unite. Now 1-on-3 and a quick scope which won't connect. Flicky, he was hitting so many shots with the AWP over on Mirage. Continues his faith and continues his form here. Now up to 10. Havik looking so far quite unstoppable.
They were struggling with a couple of the rounds earlier on in this half, but definitely going into this second half with a significant advantage, even more so than we saw from them on the prior map. Clearly, their map choice being a lot stronger.
Well, for now, Bernard will keep watch of things down Banana. Havik, a default. Zimzi looks towards this apartment's control along with Oim. For now, no one to go up against.
Simsy tries to find some shots.
Slow approach.
Indeed, and catching a couple of these rounds earlier, slow approach has been profitable for Team Havik so far. Dante trying to hold position, moves on back with that smoke as Team Havik are just raring to go on to this site. A couple of players still at Banana as they are keeping their options open, but still looking to find at least a frag and try and just run on in.
Still slow. Havik want to end the half with a perfected round, and as the utility rains in towards top of mid, well, an A play was the scenario, but the bomb and all of Havik now look towards B. They hope this play towards A really caused some sort of a fake, and for now, United's just haven't really been fed this. Haven't truly fallen for it. 24 seconds, the last of the utility will go out. Finchy will prepare the Molotov. As Havik now look to commit towards A. They've just got to find one more player rezzed. Traded by Swipe. Finchy with a FAMAS now has to find 3, and there's only 10 seconds left, Rook.
And Finchy is in a fantastic position as the rest of Kings Unite swarm the site. Good shots right now. These automatic weapons paying dividends, but Flicky is happy to sit there with the bolt action. Kings Unite will win the round, just barely, but still down 5 rounds going into the second half. It feels a little bit awkward.
Certainly was an awkward way for them to really turn up. For Kings Unite now, moving on to that CT side. Or sorry, Havik now on the CT side. Hardly needs to be updated, but for Mafsi, a smoke and a flash. Kings Unite, for me, if they find Pistol here, they've got a chance to stay in this series, in this grand final of the Vindictive Lockdown Cup. It's big, it's massive. For now, Dante just looks towards Banana Rook.
Indeed, looking to push up aggressive. No one's really going to contest him here. So Team Havik kind of varying around with these different defenses. You see a lot of teams try and go for it. They don't want to contest this Banana, at least here on the pistol round, as Dante just wide checking those angles with his body, as the rest of the team is very much there to refrag, so not in too much of a problem as the smoke goes on in as they try to cross. They have smoked off the cross, but they managed to take down Zimzi. They lose MCAT in response, but there are a couple of flags back and forth. Team Havik definitely not looking to lose players where they can, as they have moved in positions to try and go for this 2 versus 3 retake. But good shots from Frenchy will finish Flicky's life. It's now Owie versus 3 with that USPS, trying to find those quick headshots.
I'd love to say this is winnable. That short converted gives him hope, and for now, one player in Banana, the other one pushing from behind. Oh, he's got a chance, but only if he clears the angle behind him. Finchy, I think he's trying for the knife, still not spotted, and at the second attempt, spots him. Harry now has a chance. He doesn't have a kit, but Dante peeks from Banana at the right time. Kings Unite, they win pistol. They stay in the series and convert the vital round they need. And Havik now might just have to eco smoke and some flashes, and you know what? They're going to commit to it.
Fantastic stuff there. Tried to go for the knife, and I appreciated the hustle, but unfortunately doesn't manage to pick that one up. That would have been a nice bonus for their team. Flicky trying to flick with a deagle this time, is trying to contest mid when he feels the opportunity is right. Kings Unite this time having to push a little bit more for their banana control, as there is a player waiting there. Wellard tries to catch someone off guard with that Nova, but unfortunately that Galil will make short work of them. Kings Unite going to use this opportunity to rotate around and maybe look for a little bit something on towards this A site.
Well, Smite chooses what weapon to work with. The Deagle was his option, but it's only damage, in fact, towards Dante, not a kill. And now maybe the Nova can come in effect, but it's even more damage. MCAT allowed to come off better, but the weakened damage certainly means Flicky has a chance to really provide something. Kings Unite, for now, slow things down again. Damage means they don't really want to contest Banana much more, and towards A, an opening could be here. It's going to be Zimzy and Owie to hold this off. The Deagle at least converts one.
Yeah, looking for something more as he is re-peeking the angle. Tries to find something, but MCAT is looking to back up the rest of their team. Finchy will finally finish them off. And again, in these ambush positions, Owie is right here, takes down one, doesn't get the second. Team Havik not looking to win, not likely to win this round, but looking to at least make King Unite pay as they pick up. That is a beautiful music, isn't it?
It's a beautiful little sound kit. Like, it's one of the newest ones, I think. It caught me off guard. But Kings Unite, they've had the start to the second half that they were really looking for. An aid stack for Havik down mid. I hope this gets at least one kill. It would be beautiful. They're trying to get the timing, but trying to perfect this. The smoke gives them a chance. The nades, in fact, do very little. Finchy, Imasti, they get some frags, but Zimzy's got at least one back. An AK recovered. But Havik certainly just looking for the damage in the bomb. Didn't make an impact.
It certainly does. It's Team Havik lose another to a beautiful fanfare from Kings Unite. Really nice play there. Playing rather back, not getting caught out by those nades as well, and just shutting down the aggressive push.
This is really where Kings Unite are going to be properly challenged, I feel. Now up against weapons, now against a heavy M4 purchase. It's a quick smoke towards short, a Molotov and Rez. Well, for now, just hold the angles as Kings Unite quickly get that mid control. They aspire for some more map control, and they kind of have to wait for the smokes to really fade away. Havik will have 3 players at least on the A site, but I think from Kings Unite's point of view, they don't challenge anymore. They look and they see what Dante's got over towards Banana.
Yeah, I like this. Really good usage of Molotovs to cut off the offense and take the wind out from underneath them. Dante still looking to push on through, maybe through this smoke. He's just waiting for backup from the rest of the team. Rez is already in position, looking for these nades. Kings Unite, kind of still poking around. They have a lot of time to work with. 50 seconds on the clock. Can maneuver around, pick their fights, and really decide where they want to go. As Wellard is looking like he wants to move back towards this A site, and that is a huge mistake, and he'll realize it a little too late. Smite does fall. Rez looking for the player. There's no one covering the cross, but it doesn't matter because Wellard can't do enough here. MCAT is able to get that plant down with the utility and control of the site. Kings Unite looking to take yet another round here on the T side.
Well, Havik, they're certainly not going to make this an easy retake for them either. Owie gets an initial opening, looking for something else, and Kings Unite just have to ensure they get the trades, and they can't get them. In fact, Flicky gets another one, but the bomb planted from Maffy means he individually has a chance, and again a tap, and again the bomb planter almost denied Zimzy, though, just closes it out. and more than enough time for Havik to get the bomb defused. Finally, they pick up a round. I said the gun round was going to be vital. And while Kings Unite got the initial engagements won, they couldn't hold off the push and they couldn't hold off the retake.
And I mean, these gun rounds for Team Havik have been, I mean, absolutely fantastic. We saw them in the previous match where they went 8 rounds in a row without losing a single gun round after picking up their very first one. And that is the key strength of this team. Try and pick up the rounds where you can, destroy their economy. And that's what Kings Unite are really looking to do.
A quick banana control once again. A full buyout. Kings Unite's bomb plant certainly helped give them this full purchase. As they spot that CT presence, Smite was left in an awkward one as he just falls to res and the AK spray down. CT smoke is there. Perfect setup. Kings Unite again get themselves a plant. Bernard not be able to deny it. For now, this is where we have to see a better post plant. Kings Unite now need to win and look for these angels.
Certainly do. Well, odd. Looking to set up this smoke for the rest of the team as they are looking to move into position. They're all down long, but I think they're just backing off. They're looking to save here. They don't believe they can take this. The 4v5 is very difficult. And I think this is actually a really sensible decision from Team Havik. We've seen how strong they are in buy rounds. They made a couple of mistakes there. Got caught out on the rotate just as Kings Unite were executing. They say, all right, let's go next. Next time, you won't catch us off guard. We'll still have rifles, and we'll be able to buy it properly.
And for Havik's point of view, I think going forwards, they have to make sure that probably the banana control gets in their favor as well, you know. They've been not heavily contesting it at all. They've been playing a little far back, just looking more towards the site and CT angles instead. And for me, as a CT side, that's going to be quite tough to really keep banana. For now, Kings Unite have a timeout. Their money in a good state. For Havik, they will have an AWP to work with on Flicky. And Flicky, it's felt like he's had not many chances just to prove himself so far on the CT side. But if he does, if he starts hitting his shots, then Havik might start to run away with this.
Yeah, that's something we've seen from Team Havik historically, is whether they are basically the best team in the league is predicated on whether Flicky is able to put up those numbers. And I think I was talking about it with my co-caster when we saw them playing last, where Team Havik were not favoured to win that matchup. There was that caveat, and we saw that caveat come in full force as Flicky basically manhandled Team Divergent. Same was true in the very first map. It got a little bit too close to comfort, but here on their own map, Flicky's been struggling, and that's very interesting to see, isn't it?
Yeah, because lots of his AWP kills, especially on Mirage in that first map, were quite influential in just how the rounds were playing out. And because that's almost lacking from what Havik have tried to bring out on the defense so far, it's meant that there's been less of a chance for Havik to really collectively turn up together. It's feeling like individually he's so key to how this team will play up.
Kings Unite did actually use a second timeout here, so that's why we're stuck here for an extra little bit of time, but hopefully we should be able to get right back into the game. And I mean, why do you think they're using this timeout right now?
It would... I want to just say something really interesting and amazing, but probably just one of the players is at AFK because UKCS. But I would have expected... Yeah, but I mean, even if Havik went for this timeout, this also benefits them because now Kings Unite, they've lost a little bit of momentum off of that round, which they just won. And so, if anything, Havik, if they turn up strong off of this extended pause, then really Kings Unite are going to suffer most. It's a full buyout, but whoever loses will be on the end of a heavy economic drought. And this is what they needed, that banana control. The AWP's going to try and peek, but for now, Flicky, in fact, just takes the damage. A re-peek and Rez is the victor, a key winner. And Flicky gone means Havik are now down a man.
Yeah, this is big mistakes, honestly, from Team Havik, playing way too aggressive. Smite gets caught out as well. Team Havik are already on the precipice of just losing this round on the spot. The molly comes in, a little bit too late, honestly. Finchy just jumps on him. Wellard is not prepared. And Team Havik, you can see them going, right, we're just getting out of here. Oh, God, I nearly knocked something. Oh, And that is a great like metaphor for how Team Havik feel right now. They're knocking things off the desk. Things are not going well. MCAT is already in position to try and catch them out as they're looking to save. And things aren't looking good. They already dropped Zimzy, tries to find the second. Ali will get that frag. But Team Havik in such an awkward spot after losing 2 rounds in a row, trying to save in both. And this time, they're not even going to be able to get away with it.
It's only going to even be able to get away with this AK. It's more damage, at least onto Mafsy, but if they push him 1 by 1, he maybe can keep hold of his AK, and he's done so much damage. In fact, economic damage is not really going to be there towards Kings Unite. They pick up 10, they keep this one close, and they've got a chance of really sending us to dust too, given the fact that now it's a nade rush, probably down mid once again for Havik.
I mean, if they lose this, they take themselves even. Kings Unite very much have the momentum, but Team Havik will definitely be able to buy next round. That's what they're looking for here. Rather than going for a shoddy buy, they're looking for a full one. I really like this. The nades come on out. They do get a bit of damage, but not as much as you really were hoping when you invest that much. Dante taking that as a sign, and the rest of their team are following straight onto the A site, and Team Havik are already looking at this like, okay, our gambit did not work. Things are going to get real rough in this round from here. They try to find it, but Dante, looking for that spray down, does actually go down. They're able to pick up at least an AK, and that might be what they're happy with here. As Flicky is trying to get something, but even he falls.
2 deaths isn't really an issue for Kings Unite, as they do now tie up the score and now put the pressure more or less on Havik, who we were saying earlier, they were storming ahead when they were on the offense of Inferno, and people in chat were expecting this to be maybe an easy Inferno, but realistically they've struggled since the 10 of a half. 1 out of the past 6 rounds so far converted, and Rez, he actually wants to work again at Banana. He won the initial engagement. This time it's his teammate Zimzy find MCAT over towards mid. Havik, they need a disadvantage. And off of that now, it means Banana is lost. And Rez and Kings Unite now just wait to try and equalise the affair.
I like this actually from Team Havik, not contesting too aggressively, because we've seen that when Flicky was going for this, Rez was waiting and watching, and it just completely destroyed him as soon as he tried to go for it. And I think that's because they're expecting it from Team Havik. That's what Flicky does. And if he's not doing it, well then Kings Unite will give him the respect as though he were, because if they don't, well, they'll lose players from it, and they really don't want to get caught off guard like that.
Dante might have to be careful, because it would be the AWP he has to peek into. Flicky for now, well, he misses the shot, and it's not enough to at least scare away Kings Unite from this mid control, but a smoke is a perfect idea. But it means they're now kind of isolated towards one angle, apartments, and as Finchy takes damage with the initial kill, it's an easy trade up for Zimzy, who now looks for maybe something else to pre-fire, and that was damage at least through the smoke. Flicky and Rez, they trade out. It's at least the bomb plant for Kings Unite, left in a 2-on-2. Rez and Mafsy now have to hold off a push from Swite and Wellard.
Pushing with the AWP is so much harder than defending with it. Rez in this position, looking towards the library, is so good. Smite can't even make it on towards this site, and Wellard just backs off with this AWP. And that is so sad to see. Team Havik had a really good position there. They got caught off guard. Really nice attempt to spray down there by Zimzy, but it just didn't find enough. Found a lot of damage, but no actual frags after that initial one.
And who'd have thought that 8 rounds into the game, Kings Unite would actually be finding themselves a lead going into quite a key stage of this match now, because it does mean that Dust 2 can certainly appear, at least on the horizon, if we can make it there.
It certainly doesn't. I mean, it seems like it's Caster's curse right now, because every time we watch them, the winner kind of flips on their head. It was 3-0 when we joined in map 1, and it went on to be 8-3. Now we're coming on this one as it was an advantage for Havik, and they're just unable to put up a fight.
And look at the purchase that Havik now have to play with an AWP, an MP9, and around it a load of Deagles. But again, they do deny really Kings Unite a lot more banana control than maybe they expect. Zimzy, does he repeak shots, but that isn't damage onto Mafsy necessarily. Just hoping, just waiting. And for Havik, the idea would have been to really play around the AWP from my point of view. Zimzy at least gets that one and gives him an early advantage. for Kings Unite. It's
Flicky is
almost two-man
so-
disadvantage.
Smite is backing up, and they are just right on up here. They're going to use some utility to get themselves out. They've given up Banana, but they've wasted a lot of time over from Kings Unite. This is good. I'd like to see a player from Team Havik start to rotate now, because they should be expecting this. Silence on all the fronts right now.
Well,
Good opening there. MCAT does get refragged. Dante tries to find something through the smoke. Orpa on site is looking to try and plant the bomb here. Rez does manage to do that, but with these Deagles, up close and personal can be pretty threatening. You can use it as like a sort of mini shotgun. You can get a lot of taps down. Owie going down early on here to Finchy is good, though, for Kings United, as they have site control and now even numbers. They don't know where Team Havik are really going to be pushing from. They're just looking for more information.
well, the Deagle, well, it was close to a kill, which Zimzy at least trades out, but it feels way too late for Havik to get anything done in this round. The Yorp remains, and a double peep by Dante and Rez was just enough to scare that away. Up to 13 now. Kings Unite, they are pushing further towards a third map in this grand final, and Havik's money, it is there. Havik, if they can now turn up and convert this one for 12, then it means it's a game on scenario, and they can still close this out quickly. Kings Unite then, full AK buyout, now starting to build up the momentum and the confidence, and it's what they needed, given the first round and the first half for them was so awkward. This is good, though, from Flicking. Could be dangerous. In fact, MCAT wins that. And again, the key player for Havik just falls early on.
Flicky's aggression is not working out here. And that has been the problem for Team Havik. They've not been able to make it work. They were strong in the CT side, sorry, on the T side, because they didn't have to rely on it. But here, when you're giving Flicky these ops, when you're letting him get aggressive, it's not paying off. Owie is holding position. Molly won't force them out of here, but he is still going to contest, tries to find MCAT, but doesn't quite get it. The Molly is going to force them out of position. They know there's a player boiler. He is hot off of that position. Matsi takes down the one on boxes here, and this is just Kings Unite having a field day. Without the presence of Flicky, when he cannot be felt, Team Havik are not the best team in this league.
Kings Unite really, they've done enough to cement 14, and it's felt like a clean one, and this is the confidence they've now got to build up and keep going, maybe take out these weapons and AWP and an M4. They're being threatened at this point here. But I might get the timing for one, and just about does. That is AWP. Also a key threat, and Havik's money, it's going to be missing if they lose this. Nothing saved in the end. Only 2 players lost. Kings Unite up to 14 now, and where do Havik go from here? They could force it, but it wouldn't be ideal. Have to eco and play for the overtime. Kings Unite, at least guaranteed map point.
Kings Unite are absolutely destroying this right now. Team Havik have been unable to find their footing in the second half, and I mean, Team Havik can string together rounds, so if they try to make it towards overtime, off of a single buy, they can do it. But it's going to be hard as heck. Flicky really needs to show up here. Zimzy finding the first frag, and these Deagles are so deadly. You cannot disrespect them, especially in the hands of Team Havik. We've seen them time and time again pick it up on those eco rounds and have a constant amount of impact, much like the Tech 9s of Kings Unite in that first map. But this time, Kings Unite are the ones playing against an eco buy, and they have not been making mistakes so far.
Dante looks to ensure they don't make any more mistakes, at least on this side of things. For now, looks for that player towards the dark side of the site, but he takes the most damage in his direction. Smite almost prepared to really set off some damage. Dante, though, an easy one. The Deagle now looks for something else. Smite tries to convert something. Ooh. That's a nice shot. And oh, there could have been something there for Smite, but it's MCAT and Finchy who secure the site of B. 2 Deagles left to play retake for Havik. It's maybe a chance of damage, but I don't know if they've got a chance. Zimzy, he's going to be influential now.
You don't save here if you're Team Havik. You're very happy to go balls to the wall, as it is 2 versus 3 on this retake. Flash comes in, but he's already passed it. He doesn't check towards the left. Zimzy doesn't manage to get on in unabated. NCAT will be able to finish that one off, and now Kings Unite on that final round. Team Havoc taking a time.
Perfect time for this because we said they were guaranteed map point at least. Their money is there. They can get out and or maybe even two if they want to consider it. For them, we've been saying how vital Flicky has been, and we haven't been missing him necessarily, but his shots just haven't been converting, and that's been costing them massively. And when he goes back on the Europe, his teammates all favour the M4. It's a big ask, really, for Havik to now come back into this. And they have tried to mix things up. They've tried to go for the banana control. That's failed. They've then gone a bit more defensive. It's not been as good. For me, an opening couple of kills are going to be vital just to try and shut or knock out Kings Unite. Kings Unite been good on the trade kills.
And I said earlier, Kings Unite didn't look neither kingly nor united, and they've definitely gotten at least a second one down here. They haven't quite closed up this map, but they have been together, and those refrags, playing together as a team, being right behind each other, that has been a core part of it, as they've taken yet another team timeout. This is important for them, and going to the third map, if they can keep this up, I mean, they're certainly going to be in a lot better stead.
Dust 2 will be that deciding map if we come to it. And while it's looking likely, Havok's money isn't in the best state. Obviously, a full loss bonus coming into this one means, at least for now, it's full. But it's not a case they can't lose one. They've got to keep the finances built up. They've got to also, I guess, also ensure they minimize casualties. If you can minimize casualties and keep investments going on down to a minimum, then build back up that bank. Give yourself chances to keep these weapons in your play. If you're down to one round where maybe you're just on Deagles, you're going to be screwed. And Kings Unite, even a couple of kills could be costly, even if they don't find a round victory.
It could be. Team Havoc really need to set themselves up perfectly for this, and a perfect round here is exactly what they need, but it's going to be hard. As we said before, Kings Unite have been absolutely on the ball. Some aggressive AWPing up mid, but they're going to be forced out of position almost instantaneously. Some good spray from Aoi there with Flicky finding a shot through the smoke. That is the Team Havoc that we need to see. Them getting aggressive, getting forward, getting those frags as Kings Unite try and push on in. The mollies and the smokes will force them into some awkward positions, but as Donkey tries to wide swing, he is punished by Zlimzy, who is playing in that library position. Finally, Finchy will go down to Flicky, but Aoi falls to that remaining AWPer. It will be 3 versus 1, and it looks like Team Havoc will be able to win this round, but as we said before, losing too many players, it might spell their doom regardless.
Oh, close, but for tonight, it's the victory. And the issue for Kings Unite was they lost the bomb in the smoke, so they couldn't fully commit to that bomb plant. And if there was a bomb plant, that would have been a completely different scenario. So Havok's money means they can now get 2 AWPs out. Smite and Flicky will utilise those 2 weapons. Kings Unite a full AK buy, not too disappointed and not too affected by the economy. Again, a quick little approach and a quick bit of focus towards mid and second mid. Nothing, even considering a look down banana. There's only 2 on the A side defensively. It's Flicky and it's Zoe.
The Molly did a good job at slowing them at least a little bit, but they're not going to be on site, especially when both Flicky and Aoi that you just talked about get taken out as Kings Unite execute onto the site. Team Havoc, they have to make the play, but it's 3 versus 5. It's so darn difficult, especially when a Molly goes straight towards your position. They knew Zimzy was going to be there. He's been there every round, and Kings Unite already well back, well away from the prying eyes of Team Havoc right now, as Kings Unite looking to close this one out. Smite falls, it's only 2 left, as Team Havoc are looking to make some entries. Wellard and Zimzy fall, and Kings Unite pick up map 2, 16-12, as the teams have traded their map picks back and forth.
That was a really exciting game in the end. We thought it was going to be such an easy one as well for Havok's side, who went at least 8 rounds up on top. They were in control. They were the ones who really could have made this an easy 2-0, but Kings Unite as soon as they started to pick up rounds in the second half, that was the recovery they needed, and they looked so good. So credit for them to coming back. As you said, both trading each other's map picks. Dust 2, that's now on the horizon, and it's now going to be down to see who can come off better in Dust 2 in the Angels between Kings Unite and Havik Rook.
It is very excited to see that. We will bring you that action after a short break coming in now, which will be just 5 minutes.
Oh, back to the final map of the Vindictive Charity Cup. It's going to be Dust 2 for the decider after a 16-12 victory in the ways of Kings Unite on Team Havok's map pick. Interesting to see that both map picks for each team were lost respectively. What did you think about the game that we just watched? Anything really new?
Yeah, I mean, Kings Unite really showing us a strong T side there and able to shut down a lot of the pressure that Flicky was bringing for Team Havok. And I think that was the key part. If they can do that on the next map, they're in pretty good.
Yeah, for me, like we obviously said this in the broadcast earlier, on Mirage Flicky, when he got the chance to AWP, especially in mid, he was so impactful with how the rounds were playing out in Havok's favor. And when he was taken out of the equation over in Inferno, then Havok as a team just shut down. They didn't look as hopeful or as collective or as united as maybe they could be. And that's where Kings Unite were allowed to really take advantage. And for me, it's again going to be down to the uppers, Rez and Flicky, to really turn up and see what they provide for their team. And even Dante was really showing off and turning up for Kings Unite in the end there. And for me, it's again going to be down to individuals on Dust 2, by the way.
I would have to agree with you. I mean, one thing to note is that Havok took the CT. No, they took the T half 10 rounds on T, and then only got 2 rounds on CT. Seeming as the CT side might not have been as strong on Inferno as Kings Unite's T side. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on Dust 2, a map that's more, I suppose, balanced, I guess.
It certainly will be. I think Dust 2 is a very interesting place to go to after we've seen kind of teams back and forth. Part of me wants to say Dust 2 is a neutral ground, but it isn't really. Whether you've played it's whether you've practiced it a lot. A lot of players have a lot of time in it, but there's still a lot of things you can kind of do. And if you're able to AWP effectively around mid doors, I think that's going to be one of the focus points of this match specifically. Whether
Yeah,
it would
I
be
think-
Flicky who would take the control of the tempo of the match.
Definitely interesting to see. There's a lot of parts of the map that can be opened up or held with good AWP shots.
I'd also love to see if Flicky plays either mid doors or towards A long, because that's again another spot where AWPers will play. They'll try and hold that close wall bangable angle and try and get and try and get sort of an advantage. And even towards car, like
feel like
for Dust 2, it's an AWPers playground. It feels like.
It is. I feel like it might be a back and forth kind of a 1v1, well, not effectively, but like a lot of one-on-one aim duels between Rez and Flicky. If they're able to pick up the AWPs, they most likely will.
I expect to see AWPs on this map, maybe even 2. We were seeing from time to time. I believe it was Smite who was picking up the AWP for Team Havok as well. So definitely interested to see whether they're going to kind of play around with that, seeing where they put them. I think I have a feeling that Flicky is most likely going to be playing mid doors. He likes to be very in and part of the action, so plays very
I've noticed
aggressively.
that.
Whereas I think maybe the kind of secondary AWPer for the team, for Team Havok, will often play more towards the back. And I think that's very similar with Kings Unite. I don't know if they have a secondary AWPer, but I think Rez is much more calculating in that.
I would actually like to see not just on long and mid doors though, maybe an AWP towards B at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, even an AWP towards the back of B side, that can also work. I mean,
That's what I'm saying, on back flat, like behind the boxes or something.
but that's still such a vulnerable position you've really got to consider as well, because once you've sort of given up your angle, it's sort of one shot and you're most likely dead if you make any mistakes on back plat. So there's lots of angles you really could use an AWP, like we said, mid, A long as well. So
Yeah, I think that with Dust 2, there's just a control that can be gained from the AWPers, and as you said, it really is an AWPers playground.
And hopefully we will see them play quite a lot. We're getting ready to go into the game. We're still waiting just a second as the teams. I mean, they must be ready to go at this point. They are here in the finals, and it's all to play for. After some very back and forth in terms of the maps and even the rounds within those maps, as we did see that 16-9 and 16-12 scorelines. I'm very interested to see whether which team will actually end up coming on top.
yes, this is going to really determine now where the past month and a half of work has come in for these guys and who really can step up further. It's the best two teams, don't forget, at least from the group stages going forward. Havik, of course, finished top of that.
Indeed, it should be. So who do you think is going to be able to win out on this one? That's the big question I have for you.
It's
Hard to say. I think that based on the strong performance of Kings United's T side, I think they might be able to string together some key rounds on Dust 2.
for me,
On the
it's
T side.
sorry to interrupt. For me, it's the idea
No,
that
that's fine. Go on. You're fine.
it's
you're fine.
gonna be the concept that for me, Flicky and Rez are gonna be so impactful individually at what they do. Dante as well, with some of the kills he can really pick up. So it's gonna be a lot about individual aim at this point. For the smokes and flashes, they are at this point again quite common. It's Dust 2. It's one of these repetitive UK maps which so many teams and players individually will feel comfortable on. I mean, so many deathmatch servers, for God's sake, use Dust 2 as a warm-up map. So it's not
That
going to
is
be
true.
it's not going to be a scary or concerning approach for either of these sides. For me, again, Angels are vital, and unless we see insane stuff from either Rez or Flicky, they're going to be the two impactful players who really are going to maybe lose or win the game for their team.
Absolutely, it would be par for the course. Kind of that is exactly it. Dust 2 is par for the course, but the thing is whether these players are going to pop off, whether they're going to kind of be that disappointing form we saw from Flicky in map 2, that is, as we said, going to be the big and all important decision.
I think it's interesting as well that the Decider map, as opposed to being more of a strong, like, team-oriented, heavily CT-sided map, is a lot more balanced and could really go anyway. Makes it a lot more interesting, in my opinion.
It
Well,
is.
And probably puts less weight on the knife round, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, and we
well,
just had side selection as we had a knife round. Team Havoc will be on T and Kings Unite on CT, as we will be pushing right on into the game, as finally we're going to be able to see the first pistol of one of these matches.
Kings Unite taking on Team Havoc here in the Vindictive Charity Lockdown Cup finals. All the past few months' work, it comes down to this: the two best teams on a deciding map to really see how this plays out. Dante and Finchy for now just trade damage. It's Dante coming off better in the initials encounters. Havoc, they're getting the initial Angels, and they've got Finchy on for 2. Owen Wellard now left to make an impact, as Pistol so far has gone Havoc's way.
It has Finchy does manage to take down Owie, but right now is unfortunately right now the teams at the top are a little bit incorrect. It is actually Team Havoc on the CT. Sorry, I did say that wrong. But some solid stuff early on as aggression from the T side, really netting them that.
Yeah, and Finchy's been allowed a second round AK rezzed on a second round SG. A weapon you don't see that much, but something which really could pay off. And Smite, in fact, beats Rez in the initial duel, and towards long, Flicky coming off better with a scout. And while an AK and an SG are still in play, it's Havik who have lost the initial encounters. Kings Unite uniting early on Dust 2.
These scoped weapons going really well here for Kings Unite. Zimsy is down to 1 HP. Flicky will be the first one to fall on their side as that SG giving some people a little bit of horrific flashbacks, but able to do its job at the very least. They're using that scope to take people down at long range. Zimzy holding the angle with the Deagle. The MAC-10 will make short work of them, but every shot missed. Finally, through that smoke, MCAT gets that spray down, but has to be careful as those Deagles on short can be deadly. MCAT's going to push forward and maybe look for that plant alongside the rest of the team, but Aoi has not peaked aggressively yet. The scout is there, but they don't really find any heads as the bomb is already down.
Aoi just trying to get the timing really on the peak. Kings Unite now trying to play this together, all grouped up towards short, and they've done damage, but really most of it's going in their direction. Dante finally gets one, MCAT with the last two. Havik with not the cleanest start, but a great reaction to losing 2 early players.
Yeah, Kings Unite on that T
My
side.
bad.
Absolutely fantastic with such a great start, even after they get picked off by those scouts. Team Havik, yet again, they're down. They're trying these cheeky nade strategies. I don't think they're going to catch Kings Unite from this position, but they might be able to get MCAT here. The MAC-10 doesn't have quite enough bullets to finish everyone out. As the shots do come on in, Zimzy is going to be able to pick that one up for the cost of his own life. But Team Havik have given up that A site completely.
Yeah, Havik, if they maybe denied the bomb plant in this round, that would have been a massive outcome for now. Just finding 1 kill isn't really enough, and Dante's already got this angle towards long doors. All 4 players going to push, and I expect at least 1 player looks in this direction, but a bit of a struggle to get more than 1. Dante gets eliminated by Smite. A scout and a MAC-10 at least recovered. Havik now looking for any lasting damage. The retake for now not working out. IMFC with the next 2. And Rez cleans up. Kings Unite, a quick 3-0 start.
Yeah, really good start for them. But they started 3-0 off in the very first map, and that's the one they lost. So, kind of a little bit worrying, at least if you're remembering back.
Hockey stick handle.
What?
Coin.
I think that...
What the?
Pencils.
That's the
Okay,
player.
I was about to ask if I was going crazy. I had no idea what was going on there for a second. Sorry. Unfortunately, having some technical issues there, we are trying to quickly sort that. But good frags early on. Kings Unite do manage to open up that A site. They're losing a couple of players as Zimzy is holding strong on that position on ramp. But Kings Unite still have a massive numbers advantage, and they're going to take this all the way over to the B site. Zimzy is just able to pick up the AWP. I think they're going to be saving here, as Kings Unite are going to get that bomb.
Yeah, bomb down on beam. And M4 and AWP now left to maybe hold on to this. And while Team Havik were really trying to get as much damage done as possible, the gun round for now not working out. Zimzy not quite finding the kill yet. Means he is under a bit of pressure to really keep this weapon. Definitely a 4-0 start, but what can Team Havik hold on to? And for now, it might just be an M4 if we can hold it.
I mean, they don't seem to be able to hold on to anything at the current moment as they are getting demolished right now by Kings Unite. It's not like the other maps where, Kings Unite do find the round, but they lose a load of players for it. No, Team Havik are completely getting shafted right now. Aoi gives away the position right at the end, doesn't get caught out.
I'm just looking and really considering what Havik can buy going into this one, and the money wasn't ideal. The M4 was just going to be joined by some pistols, and again, a CT nade stack towards long is the wrong call because Kings Unite, a quick play towards B. In fact, MCAT will be the leading factor in this. An easy bomb plant is there. This eco for Havik hasn't drawn any luck.
Aggressive plays. The flashes do come on in. Flicky will fall as he tries to push aggressive, and Aoi, the only one with a rifle, will fall. Smite picks it on up, tries to take down another, but unfortunately, Finchy does not fall, and Kings Unite destroy another round of Team Havik.
Now, this is where the money comes back. This is where Havik should be looking to respond and get back on the boards. Smite and Flicky both on the AWP, so this is where I said Flicky has to turn up because he's had a quiet start. He's not had a chance really to get any damage done. Now on the AWP, now looks towards long.
Oh no, that was such a good molly. It was in position. A flash from the Massey meant that you just can't do anything as Team Havik. They lose 2 players for trying to put utility down. And now with the last player, Flicky is able to find 1 frag as Smite backs up from the center stage. You see Rez trying to play aggressively forward as well, but the shot does not ring true for Flicky. He hasn't even taken it, he misses it. Finally, the molly comes on out, but he has to find it. No, he does not. Rez is now on site, looking to take down the last remaining player. A quickly shot there from Smite as he finishes off Rez, but it's 1 versus 2, and they're just going to circumvent his position.
They just know he's left on this A site. They know it's going to be a tough ask really for him to win this. The kit is available on a really late rotation all the way towards the B site. The bomb having to take the longer route towards spawn and through the tunnels.
Better safe than sorry.
Safer option. And in terms of the retake, if Smite is up for it, a kit and an AWP, that's all he has to play with. No flashes, no smokes. It means if he can even make it past MCAT, it might be a tough ask. The bomb is down.
I mean, getting past MCAT with an AWP is almost impossible here. And as you can see, I mean, MCAT tried to make it happen, but unfortunately, Dante will finish that one off. And even with the mistakes like this, Kings Unite and their team play means that Team Havik can't get a word in edgeways.
I think the first game I watched, I said this earlier, in this event was Kings Unite, coming off so convincingly on Inferno. And they're again just demolishing a map and demolishing an estate we've not really seen from them so far this series and in this final res. Taking the charge this time towards the B site, and Rellard, the only defender, is gone. It was a pistol eco. Haven't delivered the goods so far.
Havik have looked so lost over both this map and the last. They just haven't been able to find anything. Rez looking for that final frag.
Oh.
Go for the knife. Oh, it doesn't come through, unfortunately. But solid stuff on the whole from Kings Unite. They are so in control of this right now. 7-0. Destroying Team Havik, much like Havik were in map 2 right at the start. But they must not let it go to their heads. Otherwise, the same thing that happened to Havik will happen to them.
Flicky, only 2 kills so far in the opening 7 rounds. Hasn't had the chance to really perform the wonders and to really show the opposites of that. Dante up 8 kills already, but this time there is a change. Havik, they're now finding the kill. Smite, Rellard and Flicky all combine, and with Rellard's Rez's aggression, it actually means it's a 2-on-2.
Zimzy even finds MCAT. It is a 1 versus 2, but the shots are there. Rez, the star player of this Kings Unite roster, shows up again and again, while Team Havik seem to be all too quiet.
I knew Dante was doing well, but I forgot and didn't realise until now. Rez up 14 kills, only 3 deaths individually. He's leading this charge. He's ensuring Kings Unite aren't going to go down without any issues so far. And look at this, easy long control. Rez is the first one out and the first one to take damage, in fact.
Well, Rez falls early to Owie here. Good play. Owie will go down as he moves on up. Kings Unite again taking control. Flicky is not able to hold the angle. And yet again, Kings Unite in control of the A site. Gonna get this bomb plant, and 1 player remaining on Team Havik, who is caught off site and is unable to make this play back towards it.
Oh, an AK recovered is at least something, but Rellard couldn't do a lot with mid there, and the presence showing. 9-0 up. This was such a close opening couple of stages. Inferno was so close, but Havik haven't been given anything or any opportunity to show off. Dust 2 not going to plan. This is our last map, by the way. And finally some hope for Havik as they get an opening from Smite in mid.
They had a beautiful round last, and it did not even matter as Rez ripped them a new one. Owie is also ripped a superfluous new behind. Timothy is going to be able to slip away. No, not quite! As Massey will finish that one on off. Kings Unite continuing to push on forward. Mollies and smokes are plenty. Good shot there. from Flicky and Smite. They shut down the push, and now it's only 2 versus 2.
Yeah, Rez finding that kill back certainly means that Havik might have a chance to really show off something. The bomb needs to be recovered though from Kings Unite's point of view. A smoke. But they'll push it anyway. They've got to play this together. And you know what? They don't even need a bomb potentially. 20 HP Flicky. Maybe he's got a chance instead, in fact, but not giving it. MCAT gonna win it. 10-0 up. Unstoppable from Kings Unite.
Unstoppable is explicitly the correct word. Team Havik are unable to stop them. They can get frag after frag. They can open well. They can defend the right side. They could 5-stack the actual site that Kings Unite end up pushing, and it does not seem to make a difference, as every single time someone comes up clutch, or they don't even need to make it there, as Kings Unite just destroy them in every consecutive frag fest.
And I'll be honest, I feel this timeout is so late to really make such a quick impact. I mean, 10-5 it's possible. But from what we've seen so far, Havik now have to build up a lot more confidence. And they've got to, again, be stopping Kings Unite a bit quicker, a bit more utility usage. That's been lacking. Some of the Molotovs, they can't do much towards a long, tough encounter. And I'm really stunned. I don't know what more Havik can do.
I mean, they need to step up. They need to be starting to hit their shots, not get caught out by Kings Unite like we're seeing them happen to them. Flicky needs to step up. 5 and 10, 0.5 KD. That's not what we know from this player. We cannot have them doing that. Otherwise, Team Havik just doesn't function in the same way. Team Havik putting a lot of players towards this B site this time. Only one player really defending the A site in Flicky, who is holding this angle. He's going to be able to get the shot, takes down MCAT early, and this is what we need to see. However, Finchy will finish off Wellard, and now Flicky is forced out of this position, as he does manage to pick up an 8K, peeks out aggressively, takes down Finchy, and will be able to retreat again, taking damage after damage, but it won't keep him down, as the Deagles in Team Havik's hand are looking to make one hell of an impact, but Mafsi takes down Zimzy towards window here, as he does try and go for the reload. Flicky will find him, and it is a 1 versus 2. Rez trying to find the first, looking for another, but as he pulls out the nade, Smite finishes it off, and Team Havik pick up their first round.
Finally, there's some hope, but I felt like Rez really had a shot in that because he's been that key player that Kings Unite have relied upon realistically on Dust 2 so far. Havik at least have 2 AWPs now to work with, and that 10-5 dream is still a possibility. One on B. Kings Unite expected to maybe go towards A, but they'll start off with a default. The AWP looks towards middle. Rez for now keeps lots of long, as MCAT actually chooses to aggress and play out solo towards B, but that's a nice opening. Smite gone, Wellard also, and the B site's been taking control, and Kings Unite, they go back to that winning form.
MZ trying to peek through the smoke and get something, but that jumping has given a position. MCAT will finish off that alongside Finchy, and Kings Unite, they lose a round, they strike right back, moving themselves 11-1.
Caster's curse for me to say 10-5 is still a possibility. It's awkward. And the buyout is just as awkward for Team Havik, who they've got lots of utility, but they don't entirely have a lot of good weapons aside from the AWP, which is being played up towards short. Havik, they've gone for that no approach, given up long, focus a bit more towards short. While they do that, Kings Unite are allowed a bit more control towards long, and Zimzy might try and play with the smoke a bit more.
This is such a greedy position. Doesn't even find the frag, but that distraction will allow Flicky to find at least one. Looking for another. Doesn't get the car player, unfortunately, even though that was such a good position for them to be. Smite crouches up towards him, still doesn't find it. Flicky falls on sight, and it's 1 versus 3 after what looked like another opportunity for Team Havik here. Everything just falls apart. Their plan does not survive first contact with the enemy here, and I mean, Aui's the only one remaining.
Molotov, that's his only bit of utility left. No kit, and how does he almost worked out? It is Kings Unite keeping up this unbeaten form up to 12. Havik's one round just kind of seems like a fluke of luck. And I almost feel like they could be 13-0. I look back on that play where Rez just got unlucky, and I do start to feel for Team Havik, who they looked so good on Mirage. They looked so good at the start of Inferno, but Kings Unite have had time to warm up now. But a change at least as Ari finds an opening and upgrade to an AK.
Yeah, Massey finds the shots though, looking for that third, finally gets it, but will fall for it. It's 3 versus 2. As Team Havik have found frags all over the place. It's now 2 versus 2 as things are evened up. Aui's still on site, but the rest of Team Havik, I mean, they're completely split. If Kings Unite can catch them off guard here, it should be easy for them. Finch pops on out, but it isn't enough for Aui to take him down. Finchy looks to contest towards mid, finds the spray. And Kings Unite 13.
Well, the plus side for Team Havik is they've got weapons. They've got an AWP and a couple of AWPs, in fact, 2 of them. Again, Smite and Flicky looking to utilize those. From Kings United's point of view, it's more of the same. Keep this form up for Aui and Havik. If they can get an opening here towards long, that would be something, and it's damage, but it's Kings Unite coming off better.
It always seems to be that way, unfortunately, for Team Havik right now. They can't find a word in edgeways. Flicky tries to peek on out onto Rez, but has learned his lesson, and this time will not be doing it again. Smite gets boosted up to the position as they're going to try and duo peek him. Smite doesn't see him. Flicky will peek on out, but not find that flick. Rez still looking for it, finally falls to Smite. 2 versus 3. This could be another round for Team Havik. Maybe picking up their second of this first half.
Dante and MCAT, well, grouped up, still have an AWP and an AK and a low bit of utility between them. So towards B, they've certainly got an opening and a chance to execute out, but depends on the timing really of what Relard can provide to the table. Safe play, doesn't want to commit. The AWP now towards door, gets mollied and smoked out of the angle. But they've got to clear this player. It's going to be so huge, and in fact, it's awkward, but Dante and Flicky just trade out. Chance maybe for Dante individually. He's had a quiet one, but aggression. Oh, and he's got a chance, Rook.
Certainly does, and he's versus an AWP now. I believe he has the bomb. I can't quite tell. No, don't think he does.
Still on site, yeah.
Yeah, big mistakes there. This means that Kings Unite are going to have to get aggressive with this Tech 9. Smite knows it's the headshot comes through. Kings Unite pick that round up 14-1, and this is looking like it might just be a shutout victory here for Kings Unite on Dust 2.
Kings Unite, they've just dominated this game. I don't know of anything else to say. I feel for Team Havik, who on Inferno, they looked the part, they looked like worthy winners, but this felt like it came from nothing. Kings Unite, what a turnaround from what was a rough T and a rough opening map pick to win the championship. Don't forget, Team Havik, they need to have a storming second half, and for now, damage and at least an initial kill. Zimzy, he'll find Finchy.
But some good headshots from Rez are more than enough to keep things even. It's 3 versus 3. It's going to be a bit of a retake for Kings Unite. They're already in position, but the Glock spam will find Dante early. Zimzy holding strong on this site as the USPS is going to come out. Flicky from behind finds a couple of shots, and Team Havik net themselves the first round of this half, and hopefully that bodes well.
See, it's weird to think they've only got 2 rounds, but they've got Smite on 14 kills, Flicky on 12 kills, so they have been finding rounds, and they've been keeping it close, but Kings United, they've been more or less winning these rounds against sort of 3 or 2 players remaining. You start to look at the stats and you realise that Havik have been connecting and finding kills, but just not the vital round ones which have won them the rounds. Timothy for now looks towards Pit with the scout. You knew the player was there. But for now,
didn't even find a body shot there. I thought he was going to hit that, but the HE will send him packing. Rez falls to Smite, but Team Havik's aggression paying dividends right now. Aui takes down Matsy, but Smite will fall Zimzy too, as we do see the flash kind of going both ways there. Team Havik will be able to get the bomb plant and will be able to pick up the round. And Kings Unite struggling a little bit, at least initially here.
Flicky and Havik. Well, they find themselves room.
Kings Unite. They've lost a couple of rounds, but they certainly have more than enough leeway. They just need to pick up 2 rounds in this half to win out on this match. So, very happy to just play the waiting game. They pick up a couple of pistols, don't mess around with their economy too much, and set themselves up for further down the line. Flicky with this scout, you try and find someone, but no one has shown him anything as of yet. Going to be seeing a lot of silence right now as Team Havik are preparing to set up. They're going to be going towards the A site, and I'm glad they've made this call, because otherwise they would have been walking face first into 5 players from Kings Unite. They've decided against it. They don't want to go anywhere near A. They had right. There was no one there, but it just won't be their opportunity to move on 3. Zimzy is the first one to draw blood on himself with that molly. The rest of the team is looking to push on in aggressive and into so many players, but they cover the angles, and this round will be theirs. A bit of unnecessary bloodshed, but they only lose 1 player in the end.
So there could be a chance that Havik can really fight back, but it now really has to be flawless. It's got to be unstoppable. Nicolò is really the only downside to what Havik's purchases now, as Kings Unite do have M4s and a scout. Rez falls early. And while damage gets back in him, if he... Oh, in fact, he falls to Zimzy as Team Havik again come off better in the early encounters.
Beautiful spray means it's a 2 versus 1, but unfortunately that 1 doesn't last for long. Team Havik streaking a little bit right now, picked up 4 rounds straight and continuing to try and wrest back control of this map from Kings Unite after a bit of a whitewash in the first.
3 scouts again. Kings Unite gonna commit to this purchase. Now Flicky won't be finding too much of the AWP and the scout. I was gonna say it might have had a chance there, but it is the Havik player who comes off an early victor. Kings
Not
Unite.
sure. Flicky isn't feeling himself, but I still wouldn't challenge that. This player is absolutely on point. Just like Smite is, he finds a good spray through and takes down Rez early on here. The second will just about escape. But Kings Unite, not in a great position. They do manage to take down Zimzy, and they will be able to pick up a rifle in response to that. But Team Havik have a lot of control across the rest of them.
Yeah, and for Kings Unite, it'll be just any lasting damage they can do, and Cat's Peak is enough to get rid of Flicking. While the B side's open, they've not entirely got a clearance. Well, they didn't have a clearance at the door. Now Finchy gets smoked off. It means the B site is Havik's. An easy bomb plant means some extra cash to try and build up this momentum and economy. And do Kings Unite really go for this? You've got an AK and a scout, which by all means has a shot of doing something, but unless they get a kill fast, there's no chance for them to really survive and do much. Resmoke on door means Finchy now looks towards window.
He's not going to check down here. Owie is going to catch him out. Finchy needs to be careful. The molly forces Owie out of position, but still going to be the round for Team Havik, as Kings Unite don't even step a foot towards it. So they're just going to back on off. MCAT looking for the exit frag and might just find it if Smite is not careful here. But still, Havik picking up a round and a good spray.
Yeah, Smite fell to the bomb at the end there. From Havik's point of view, they're clawing and waking up now on T-side dust too. Remember, Kings Unite, essentially a Stormer, looked so convincing in the early stages of the whole first half. And the York, Flicky wanted an opportunity to really take advantage. For now, nothing going to be there. Kings Unite now have a full buy.
Do they do? Flicky? Going to be setting up for the rest of their team as they're trying to contest on towards a short hit. A good molly, but won't quite force MCAT out of this position. That is unfortunate. So we'll be able to stick here as they do have Smite up in this position. The smoke will obscure him for now, but If MCAT peeks it on out once it's dissipated, it could be problematic. MCAT making sure that's not too much of a problem, as he is going to smoke that one away. Team Havik still contesting for this mid control.
The smokes for CT are there. The Molotov is what Kings Unite responded with, and now Dante, well, he has to really convert his shots now. A second doesn't quite connect, and towards the window, Wellard now looks for the better of his opponent, and they've got the kills and they've got the site once again. And for Kings Unite, I don't see any chance of them really regaining the site all around this time. Timothy gone, Smite with a better angle. And Rez should at least trade out, and there's to repeat. A 1-on-2 which should and could be winnable. Nade, not quite going to reach. But a retake which he's certainly going to go for, Rook.
He's looking for something, but Rez won't find at least those first shots. And I like the passivity from Havik here. Not getting caught out in those last two players. Shutting down the final player and bringing themselves ever so closer to a win here on Dust 2, as they are now 7-14 and haven't dropped a round in 6 rounds.
A load of Eagles. Kings Unite. They now look for the damage. A default from Havik's point of view, a slow start, but Kings Unite just haven't proven themselves at all in the second half realistically. Flicky won't quite connect the shots yet in mid. Wellard finds MCAT meanwhile. That's towards the A doors. And Finchy in mid. Does he come off better? Yes! An Eagle takes out an AK. And for Kings Unite, if they can keep this at least a level playing field, if they can minimize the deaths and maximize the kill count, then they can certainly look towards 15, but damage is crucial at this point. And for now, Havik look to avoid some easy deaths.
Certainly do. Kings Unite holding a lot of these angles very strong. They will be pushing on out. Still, a couple of players on shot from Havik, and Rez is going to be the first one to really meet them if they push on up. With this Deagle, definitely can take off some heads. But Rez, push a little bit further back, doesn't want to get caught out, manages to dodge all of those flashes. Playing at boxes here, Wellard is going to push on up, some good shots, but doesn't quite manage to finish him on out. Matthew doesn't find the shots himself, even as 9 HP is on the board. Doesn't quite find the frag. That's how he will finish him on off. And Team Havik with supreme control of this site. They have lost Smite, but Dante is waiting for Zimzy to push up into this position, and big mistakes, misses the first shot, but the second time will find it. Finchy tries to find someone from long here, but it's Dante with these Eagles who made the impact in this round. Team Havik still able to pick it up.
And they're building up the chance, they're building up this momentum of really closing out what would be an insane comeback. Remember, they looked rough. They didn't provide any hope on their CT side, but now on the aggressive T side of things, they are waking up. Zimzy for now leads his charge for what could be a fast B play. The smoke is less issue than aid. In fact, doesn't do enough damage to all of them. Only Zimzy takes the damage, and he wins the initial encounter. So under pressure, Rez gets at least an equalizer. A bomb plant on B. That's for Havik. The key with that one, and for now, a 3-on-3.
Getting aggressive with this AWP is hard. That's why Dante's going to let MCAT go first and just try and flash it. Smite back of this site, looking to try and hold something. Someone's going to come window, and he is ready for them. He looks away and away. But Rez just jumped on in. He will fall. Smite does fall, but it's still 2 players remain. Make that 1 player. Zimzy will find the frag, and Kings Unite still not able to pick up a round on this defensive half, as the CT side does not seem to sit well with either team.
It really doesn't. Now Kings Unite struggle to close out what could have been a quick 2-1 win. Scout is the investment. Some pistols and Flicky's shot. Not quite going to be flicked towards a kill. The standard Xbox smoke is there to maybe mislead and fake a short approach. Molly is there, but Havik this time don't want to even consider the A site. In fact, Smite and Flicky finally kills Rez, just so hopeful he could connect that Deagle shot. And while the B site was the initial idea, that play could still come in because Dante now remains and keeps at the wrong overtime. Flawless one. Havik
And this
up to
is
double
the
figures.
Havik we're used to seeing, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're really showing up. They're finding their shots. They're really feeling it right now. And you could tell Kings United are really feeling a little bit hot under the collar. Team Havik are right behind them, only 4 rounds difference. After what started off as a 13 rounds difference. Team Havik have not lost a round in 9 rounds and are just not letting go of this map or of this entire tournament as we are here in the grand finals last game, 14-10. Havik have a lot of work to do still, even after they've already been able to pull out. And they're pulling out all the stops. Wellard going down there, though, does not bode well. The Orb of Rez finds another shot, a headshot, in fact. And Mathsy finishing off Zimzy means it's 2 versus 5. Flicky, you're going to have to make it happen. He does no such thing. And Kings unite with a flawless round. Take it down, Havik. It's 1 round in it for Kings Unite to take this match.
Take the match and take the entire tournament with it. It's been the past 2 months of work which has led to this final. And they've made this second map, or this third map, sorry, a lot harder than really requires a full buyout. And Havik, they're far from out of this. They can somehow build up 5 offensive rounds. And what's to say they can't take this to overtime? Finchy's on 24 kills and looks to extend it with a potential play towards Beam. But Havik, look towards lower tunnels for now. Kings Unite, just to note, they've got no A-long presence whatsoever. They're all focused and all grouped up towards mid and short.
Rez holding the angle. Gonna have to back away as the smokes have forced him, and Dante even falls. The flash might just save his life as he is able to just about hightail it out of there. The AWP shot misses the first, and this means Rez is in such an awkward position. Still manages to find the second to Wellard. No one's watching him. Finally, he will fall as aggression from Team Havik as they just jump onto the B site. They're going to go for the bomb plant, and Smite just pushes out mid, takes down Matsy. It's MCAT who is going to beat a retreat. Doesn't want to push through Matt Molly and into 4 players. Will just be saving that AK, as the rest of the team should be able to buy up with them in the next round.
Yeah, Rez might be the only one affected by this, but Kings Unite will certainly have a good buyout to work with going into round 27. And that was a complete turnaround. That was Kings Unite even having the early advantage in this round, but it hasn't really been kept going. Havik, they pull off a vital clutch again to keep them in it, but still a lot more work to do. They still need at least 3 to take us towards overtime. Step by steps. MCAT can't even beat the AK.
I mean, the team can still buy. It's not the end of the world.
From their point of view, they can still get an AWP. Dante could have got that out, and he has done. In fact, Rez, I said he was going to be the only one really affected, and Famas still isn't a bad shout. He doesn't convert the shots either. The mid-door scenario hasn't really been helpful, but that nade is huge. Relard and Smite effectively out after the round. Rez gets a triple lineup, in fact, and in this round, Zimzy is left to maybe step up for Havik. Flicky's also got one, and trying to stay in this now. It's Flicky gone, and Kings Unite winning this tournament.
2-1 in the finals after a destruction in game 1. A reverse destruction in game 2. Kings Unite take control of map 3, almost get it there, but Team Havik mount that defense, but it just isn't enough. Kings Unite come together and reign supreme here with a 16-11 scoreline here on Dust 2, taking the entire tournament here in the grand finals.
And that was an insane comeback. Just, it felt so close. I really wanted Havik to come back and take us to overtime, and they had a shot. Considering they were, 14-1 down at halftime. That's a phenomenal comeback to really put on. And there was 4 rounds in it. They were that close to really taking us to overtime at the end. I feel for them, but credit your champions, Vindictive Charity Lockdown Cup winners, Kings Unite. They looked insane, Rook.
They certainly did. I mean, Kings Unite, I was feeling a little bit iffy about them after the game 1, and I saw that Flicky could really show up. But game 2, they figured him out. They systematically took away a lot of those aggressive options that he was otherwise looking for. And from that, Team Havoc wasn't able to stand on their own 2 feet. Going into Game 3, they got manhandled pretty much for the first part of that. And in the end, Kings Unite are able to close it out pretty solidly, in fact.
Yes, and well, I mean, you look towards Havoc and you kind of think if they had a better, well, there's no argument about it. If they had a better CT side, they were in with a shout of really winning the tournament. The Kings, they just completely destroyed that first half on T side Dust 2. And realistically, we didn't even expect it to go towards Dust 2. That felt like it should have been Havoc's series to win back on Inferno. That was realistically the turning point, and it's so unlucky, and commiserations that they just couldn't do it. Well played, and what a comeback from Kings Unite.
Yeah, I mean, really impressive stuff. We are going to be having an interview in just a second. We're waiting for the player to join into the voice call. But, I mean, Kings Unite, really, more than anything, I have to be very impressed with the way they're kind of... They were down a lot, and they were in a very awkward position, and they managed to have that mental fortitude, that's what I was looking for, to really keep themselves in the match and even take back control and destroy the opposing side in that final game.
Yeah, from my point of view, the mental side of things must have been so draining and disappointing from Havoc. To go into the second half of the final map 13-1 down is something you just don't want to really work with. It wasn't the start, and it wasn't the performance they were showing on the other maps either. And a couple of changes, even an earlier pause, even an earlier approach might have changed things ever so slightly, but it just shows that one half of one match can really determine your tournament faith. And I feel for the boys. And the good thing is, we've now got a host joining us. Hello, Makila.
Or not?
Muted on Discord.
Okay. Mikira will be joining us in just a second, just like Dante.
Sorry about that.
Oh, there we go.
I muted myself because he said that I wasn't quite in yet. Yeah. Wait, is he joined now?
Yeah, Dante has joined us. From
Hello,
Kings Unite.
Dante.
What's going down?
Oh, what's poppin'? So what do you think went really well for you, that game? Because I noticed you were struggling a bit in the Mirage game to start off with, in 916, but then on the T side on Inferno, it just seemed like just
What
like
can you
a
do?
freight train that couldn't be stopped.
I mean, I have no idea. What can you do when you're getting rocket peaked by Flicky every round? Like, there's only so many things
I mean,
you can do. You're
I
trying to
mean,
hold an angle
yeah.
and he's just not having it.
What were you really doing then to shut down Flicky when he was just being so aggressive all over the place on map 1 and map 2, and obviously in map 3 you were able to shut him down as well?
The call usually was find him, go the other way, and then I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. Dead serious. We were literally avoiding him, and besides that, if we couldn't avoid him, it was just put as many bodies as possible. So
Yeah, he can't kill all of you, right?
exactly.
Yeah, that's I respect that strategy a lot, to be fair. I noticed that the CT sides for both teams were a bit shaky, to be
Oh
fair.
my god, Dust 2 was an absolute state.
I don't want to. I don't think I
thought-
want to bring
I
that
don't even
up
wanna
for
comment on
you.
it.
Yeah,
It
I
got
apologize for
to
that.
when it hit about 10 rounds, I was like, oh no, we're gonna lose it. Like we're actually gonna lose. But
Were
no.
you honestly, like, getting to the final stages of that map, were you concerned that you'd thrown away your chances of maybe winning this?
No, I knew we were going to win anyway, but I was more concerned
That's the
about
confidence
the
I like.
score than
Yeah.
anything. Yeah. Well, towards the end anyway, because I didn't know what they had prepared on Dust 2 to start with. But when we were like 8-1 up or whatever it was, we knew we'd had it.
I mean, you
Send
say
it.
that, but your opponents on map 2 there, they
Were
were 8-1
8-0
up and
on
they weren't
Inferno.
quite able to make it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, how do you feel about that, being able to make that clutch on map 2 on Inferno?
I can't even remember the clutch, to be honest. Was it me? Who
No,
done
no,
what?
I was talking about
Oh
the
no,
overall,
no,
not
he's
the
referring
individual
to the
in
rounds.
fact that
general,
you
in
were
general.
you were 0-8 down, and then you brought it back to 16-12, I think it was.
Mhm.
They got 2 rounds on CT. Very shaky CT side for Havik.
Yeah, I don't really know what they were doing. They weren't really playing B very well. So any sort of presence on B was. It seemed to be forcing rotates. Well, I mean, I don't actually know how they were playing really. We were just running at them.
I
But
mean,
when we've got people like Finchy and Rez and Meerkat, and even Mafsy popped up in the last game. It's just if you're hitting shots, we send them in, and that's literally as simple as it
to be
is.
fair, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the first map
Um,
was a bit rough because none of us were
yeah,
aiming.
yeah. Yeah,
None
but
of
it's
us
like
were
the
aiming at
first map,
all.
isn't
So,
it? Like, no
yeah.
one's really fully in it there. Wasn't there it's just a charity cup, right? Where's the money going to then? Like,
Oh God, I have no idea. I'll have to speak to everyone and see what they want to do. Because I haven't actually spoke to them yet about it. Because we weren't actually expecting to win, to be honest. Especially after
fair enough. Fair enough.
especially
Get
after
get the
they
boys
rattled us last
get the
time.
boys together and have a bit of a discussion about that one then.
One quick question just before you go. Were you expecting and prepared for Dust 2 to come up at the end there? Or was
was
it just
hoping.
sort of,
You
you
were
were
I
hoping
mean,
for it.
if you see
know
the DMs of us trying to veto, you'd realise like none of us have actually got brains. Like none of us. We both vetoed overpass twice, and I tried to pick the last map when there was only one map left. So like none of us actually had a clue what we were doing.
I will say one thing. I know that you definitely are a big fan of Dust 2.
Oh, I'm a big fan of Dust 2. I was
Biggest
so
Dust 2
happy
fan
when I
there is,
see Dust 2
Donny.
come up. Yeah, as soon as I see Dust 2
I
come
saw
up,
it.
I was
Listen, I
happy.
saw it go to Dust 2, and I was like, "You're gonna own this one." Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Big fan of Dust 2.
Big
Can't
up.
contest Flicky on the doors though.
Con-
It's heartbreaking.
congrats, yeah. Congrats on your win for the charity cup, though.
Cheers. It's a farm.
Yeah, I respect it. So what are you gonna do now?
Probably speak to them, see what they want to do.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Okay. I'm being told that we should wrap this up. Sorry, I've gone on for a bit too much. This has been the Vindictive Charity Cup final. As the captain of the winning team, Kings Unite, Dante. Goodbye.